Hey!
Hello!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Legends of Avantris, episode 32. Jeez, we've been at this a while.
Wow,
It's been a while.
Just
Hello.
Hey, how's everybody? I guess we are a bunch of nerds that have been playing together. This is a homebrew session. This is a homebrew world of Avantris. I'm really spilling spaghetti today, guys. It'll get better, trust me. We are a bunch of nerds that have been playing together for about 2.5 years. We're in the homebrew setting of Avantris. We have been playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons for 2.5 years, and we use a lot of rules as written, but a lot of homebrew, so feel free to call us out if we're doing anything wrong. If not, it's probably intended. I think this is a mature stream.
you're using the wrong one.
Oh, I am using the wrong one. Please hold.
This is yikes. This is a mature stream, so make sure all the kiddos don't come in, and we get into some dark themes occasionally. If anyone who hung out on Saturday probably already knows, and whoever did come and hang out on Saturday, thank you so much. Hope you had as much fun as we did for the first session of Beneath Dark Wings. It was a blast. And so I guess with that, we'll go around and introduce our players, and we won't hesitate anymore. So we have Nikki playing Sylvie Flickerwicket.
Hello.
Okay, there we go. That's just fine. We have Richie playing Rodick Stonehearth. We have Kelsey playing Annuan Mossgrove. And we have Andy playing Avantris Truestrike.
It's a lot less glamorous from this side of the screen, let me tell you.
Yeah, you know, it's
how it goes.
It's how it goes. Next time. At least for every Beneath Dark Wings. I'm very, very. My face is very large. I'm gonna back up a little bit. There we go. I'm like, hey guys, what's up?
Now that was worth being on this side of the screen for.
Hey. So with that, let me kick on some music. I don't think we have any other housekeeping business, do we? We have sub icon. That's pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
So if you
It's
sub
new for affiliates. Basically, the longer you sub, the more of an icon you get.
You get more of an icon. Those that have been subbed for longer, you go to bronze, and then silver, and then gold.
Derek will make something probably way snazzier, but for now,
we got some.
this is what we got.
This is all you get for now. Hopefully you like it.
We submitted our new Twitch emotes, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
So tier 2 gets the Crummy emote.
Ooh.
And tier 3 gets
Sylvie.
the Sylvie emote.
Ooh.
So if you want my gnome's face every time somebody says something that's unconventional, then yeah, tier 3. Also with tier 3, I updated that, and our tier 3 reward, trying to still figure out something for tier 2 additional award, but tier 3 is kind of like a subscription loot box where you get between 4 to 6 items if you do the tier 3 sub. And with that, it is the Satchel of the Summer Court, and so you will get a little satchel from my company, Summer Court Creations, and it'll be D&D related, 4 to 6 items per month for as long as you are a tier 3 sub. So that's one of the fun things that you can get if you do that sub.
Sponsored by Avantris Crate.
Avantris Crate, yeah. Satchel of the Summer Court.
With that, I guess, Satchel of the Summer Court. Love it, love it. So with that, I think we'll get into last time. I don't think we have any other housekeeping business. So, here we go. So, after kind of coming to terms with Ganji leaving you guys behind, you decided what to do. You chatted a bit with Orpheus, and you got to a point where you were comfortable enough with leaving him in the hands of Seamus, who you finally found and encountered, and learned that he'd been trying to rebuild the Pelican's Perch, his old inn, or his old tavern, and he was really very happy to see you in response to effectively getting the Pelican's Perch completely destroyed. You gave him a bunch of gold, and in order to get himself back up on his feet. You then basically passed Orpheus off to him, and Seamus let him off at knife points to take him back to Forgus's hideout. However, you then learned that Forgus's hideout was missing a Forgus because he was in jail. He had been arrested for attempting to assault Alphonse Leblanc, who is arguably the most powerful and wealthy of all of the Silver Serpents, the rulers of Gullhaven. And he had been locked up and had been the guards had been ordered to keep him very, very heavily locked down and to really basically lock him up and throw away the key. And after a summons from Amalia Theramore, who leads the Sea Eagles, who are the military of the town, you went and you filled her in on basically everything that had happened on your adventures. And due to the favors that you had done for saving the town, she let you speak to Forgus. Took you down deep into the dungeons. And that's where you got private meeting with him. And he was wild and as crazy as he always was. But he explained that he had a reason for attempting to assault Alphonse. Is that basically something Sylvie had been talking about had made him suspicious about Alphonse. So that night, actually, after they had headed out to Undertow Isle, he waited outside of Gullhaven as Alphonse's stagecoach was heading out of town, and he saw a face peek out of the window of the stagecoach, which he believed to be Hissy Brightorchard, who was one of the bounty hunters.
Brightorchard?
Brightorchard. Hissy Brightorchard, one of the bounty hunter companions of both Avantris and Forgus, who they thought was dead, who they saw die before their eyes due to a bunch of spirits. And the party promised to help get him out. They left him. He promised to behave himself the best that he could, and they left. They spoke with Amalia. She agreed that he would stand trial, and if he answered some questions and behaved, that he would probably be able to get out in a day or so. And so with that, the party left, and they went to the Egg of Eternity. They went to Vito Velocinic's mansion and to his workshop, where he eagerly had been awaiting them and was very happy they were alive. He then provided answers for Rodek's horn that he's been traveling with since he left his home, the large war horn that Frost used to touch. He said that the magic inside was a binding, a mind-controlling magic that seemed to work on frost giants. But in order to use it, it seemed as if there had been blood magic interwoven into this artifact that basically only a certain bloodline, at the very least that he thought so, could basically use the horn to any magical effects, which intrigued him, but he promised, he did as he promised and returned the horn to Rodek and basically all of the information he had. And with that, he announced that there would be a parade and a celebration ceremony for their service to the town of Gullhaven after in a week's time. And so he begged them to stick around in town. And after that, the party made their way out to the streets of Noblegarden, the Noble District. You were standing in the streets. It's probably the late after. Or no, you all went back to enjoy a drink, and you enjoyed a toast to Matthias.
We did.
That's right.
Yes.
A toast to Matthias.
Yar.
And you are currently in the Wit and Whimsy, enjoying your beverages. Sylvie, I guess you're horribly drunk unless you decided to sleep and do that. But basically, we left this, finished off the session, basically enjoying drink and enjoying each other's company, really being able to relax for the first time and kind of breathe, just kick your feet up. Basically, the first time since you started adventuring together. So you're all at the table.
And is Seamus with us? I couldn't remember.
No, he went back to.
Okay.
I think we went to bed, right? We sort of did that.
Well, you did a toast. You
Okay.
were going to go to bed, so you can choose to basically go to sleep and then wake up feeling refreshed, if you choose.
Oh my god. So, Annulin, the problem is that we're getting more alcohol, guys.
They're actually all out.
Oh. So the problem with having a pixie companion is that she doesn't ever want to talk to my friends. Lumi, you're a bitch.
Hey, agree.
Yeah.
No.
I'm tired.
Shall we go to bed? Thank you for the follow. 20 sides to every story.
I'm tired.
What a great name.
Yeah, that's great. Sounds familiar.
I want more alcohol or I want more sleep.
Alright, let's go. They're fresh out, like Anulin said.
Can you carry me?
I'm holding you currently.
Oh, can you carry me higher? I feel like I'm walking.
I'm carrying over my head.
Can you carry me higher? I feel like I'm walking.
No.
Okay, just go.
Actually,
I'll
Bandis.
come with you, Rodek. I'll get the door.
Alright, here you go. And to carry her higher, I put her on Anulin's shoulders, if I can reach that high.
Oh, your hair
got her?
smells delicious. It smells like elves and dirt. I like it. Ugh.
That's why they call her Clump, Avantris.
Oh God.
Guys, I never should have told you that old nickname of mine.
Clump, move faster.
It's fitting of a wood elf such as yourself. Anyway,
Hot clump. This
go to
old
bed.
gnome's not gonna sleep on your shoulders.
Is there a town-sanctioned mail system to send messages that are like, quick between districts? Are there like couriers?
I'd say there'd be courier spots.
I just want to send a message to Seamus basically while all this is going down to make sure that he's still doing okay. If it's like a quick enough message, not like, going to take days to get to him across the city.
Okay. Yeah, you could probably guess that to get all the way across town like that, a courier moving quickly would probably take like an hour.
Alright, okay guys, while you guys are still partying, give me a minute. I'm not down for the count yet. I'm just gonna send a message to Seamus and make sure that everything's okay with him and Orpheus, and I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm gonna keep sniffing Anulin's hair. Clump.
alright, let's
That
get
just
into bed.
actually made me gag in real life.
Oh boy.
Let's get her to bed.
Let's go. I'll help.
Yeah, I
I
wanna
joined.
snuggle when we get back. I'm talking to Anulin, not Rodek.
Oh, I know.
You could snuggle too if you want.
No, I'm alright, thank you.
Just bring fecal deck with you.
I ate
Okay.
a big pasta salad earlier, so I'm alright.
I just wanna go to bed. We can wait for Avantris there, right?
I'll get you tucked in. You two can cuddle if you'd like. I'll wait
Okay.
for him downstairs.
Okay, bye.
Alright. We go. I get them into bed, and I'll go back down just to make
You're
sure
gonna
that
pass
we
out
don't-
right away.
We don't ditch Vandy.
Okay.
I'll tuck Sylvie in and slip out the door and go back downstairs.
She's gonna try to slip out the door, and I'm gonna like crawl and like spread out across her stomach, like one head on one side and the legs on the other side, snoring very loudly.
Guess I'm staying here then.
Okay, you stay in the room. Vandris, you find a courier service who's hesitant about going into the Kench, where you tell him, but you're able to, for a gold, an extra.
Yeah, I'll give him a little extra, nice little tip. Get him to go.
So we'll say 2 gold pieces for there and back, because he'll get Seamus' word back to you. So you'll probably hear back in about 3 hours.
Basically, I just want the message to say, hey, I want to make sure you're okay. Don't hesitate to send me any kind of summons if you need it.
Didn't we give Seamus a Rocky Talkie?
We may have.
You did.
Anulin
Yeah,
gave him her
that's
Rocky
Rocky
Talkie.
Talkie.
Okay, that's fine. Courier's done. Vandris is dumb. He's off. It's all good.
Okay.
We all forgot.
You're
so that's
down.
fine.
You're down 2 gold pieces. Really
Sylvie was
driving
too
him.
drunk to remind you, so.
Yeah, no worries. And Andy is too drunk to remember as well. So
Okay.
Alright, did you send the message?
yes, I just wanted to check in on him, make sure. He's a tough old salty sea dog, but I just wanted to make sure he's okay and let him know that we're going to be staying here for a week or so, and that this will be our base of operations for now, and that's about it. I worry about him sometimes,
Guys, can you hear me?
Go ahead, Rodek, you can answer.
We can.
Oh, you fell asleep on me. What are you guys doing?
what are you even doing up there? Did you even tell us what you're doing?
Yeah, I was just sending a letter to Seamus, but while the women are trapped, I think that we should go to the Mon Ami and see what women are dancing tonight.
What is that?
What?
I snatched the Rocky Talkie from Rodak. I say, there's a lot of interfere, and I hand it back to him.
You all hear a voice in your head that says, "Oh, I don't know how to turn this thing on. How does this work? I'm supposed to be pressing the button," and then you hear like, "No, I saw them do it. You're pressing it right now. They can hear everything that you're saying."
Hello.
Is that Rodak?
It is.
Well, you're going to the Mon Ami, huh?
Is that the plan?
I'll take out my Rocky Talkie and say, well, that was mostly we were just gonna tease Anulin about it, but we don't really have a plan. I actually forgot we gave you one of these things. Seamus, is everything okay?
No, everything's fine. I got Orpheus tied up in the corner there. I fed him some stew. He complained, but I think he liked it, so I mean, it's fine. I threatened to cut his throat a few times. It seems to shut him up.
Good. I forgot we gave you this thing. I sent a letter, so ignore the letter. Basically, just we're gonna be here in Noble Garden for about a week or so, and this will be our base. If you need to send for us, you can use the rock.
Okay, and I just press the button. I guess this is how it's working now, eh?
That's it. That's just easy peasy.
Okay, well, try not to. Does it still play when I'm sleeping?
Only if you press the button and like roll over on it, I suppose, or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Just maybe set it on your dresser when you're not using it.
That's fine. Okay. Good night.
Good night. Speaking of that, I turn to Avantris. I think it's been a long day. Why don't we get to bed, and then we've got a week to kill, so we can do plenty of extracurricular activities while we're here.
Agreed. Yeah, that sounds fine. Honestly, this is the first time in a very, very long time that I have nothing on my agenda. It almost feels good to be a petty criminal again.
Aye, well, I suppose we can plot our next thing on the agenda tomorrow. I think we have a few leads, but for now, let's not think about it, and let's just get plenty of sleep.
Sounds good.
All right.
I guess we'll retire to our chambers.
Okay, you all get a long rest. You wake up in the morning, a little bit hungover, but not too bad. Feeling mostly refreshed. You sleep in. It's probably the late morning at this point. This is like your first time getting a chance to sleep in, also in a very long time. And with nothing really major or pressing, you probably stumble down and are able to order some breakfast if you'd like.
Yeah, I probably we could order, or there's like a buffet or something. We sit down.
Yeah. Sure.
What are you feeling?
I've got a headache. Lumi pinched me at least 4 or 5 times. I guess I called her a bitch. You're not supposed to call pixies bitches.
You remember all that? Or did
No,
she fill you
she
in?
told me that when she pinched me the 4th time.
Alright. Well, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Like that.
Oh,
She
Anulin.
slept on me all night.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Anulin. You were so comfortable. And even the few times I farted, you didn't leave.
Well, you're my best friend.
Yeah, you're my best friend now, too, that Titania hates me.
Do you share a bed
I mean-
usually?
What?
Wait,
Huh? What?
wait, hold on.
What?
You
Huh?
drew attention to it, now I realize that
I
wasn't
don't
a
know
joke.
what you said. I'm sick. I've got the flu, I think.
It just must be one of those ironic jokes she always
Yes.
does.
It's an iconic joke is what they call it.
Yep.
Yep.
So, what's the plan for today?
Well, I have to go pick up some things in the shopping districts, I believe. But other than that, nothing.
I agree. Honestly, I just want to be available for Seamus if he needs us, and other than that, I'm looking forward to having absolutely nothing to do, to be honest. I'm highly concerned about Forgus, I suppose. That news is disturbing and really kind of messed me up for a while. But I'm trying my best not to let it get to me because I still think that Forgus might be nuts.
Oh, he's definitely nuts. It's just a matter of whether he's nuts and lying.
I don't think he could lie.
Again, to Angulin's point, I believe that he believes he saw what he saw.
Right.
Whether or not it's the truth is yet to be seen.
Yeah.
So, whether he's mistaken or not, is there... Did you see her die, Avantris?
So, time out of character. I believe so, yes. But, okay, I'm getting a... Yes,
Yeah.
as Avantris. I am Avantris now again. Yes, I saw it with my own 2 eyes, and it was disturbing, and it's a moment that will live with me until I die.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but it could have been just a trick of the light. I mean, it's just a gnome halfling, or
You can't be a gnome and a halfling at the same
apologize.
time.
Just, they're both female halflings, and does he drink? Is he
Does Forgus drink?
Forgus.
I mean, he consumes everything under the sun. I mean, but that's neither here nor there. I watched Hissy sacrifice herself for us. She gave her life so that we could escape. It wasn't a trick of the light. This was an act of heroism.
Well, at this point, let's assume that he was just seeing things, or he's crazy, or he was hallucinating and he had too many banshee peppers. But something is up with Alphonse, and I mean...
Yeah, he's a Dracula.
He's a Dracula.
I lied to Forgus yesterday, obviously, because I wanted him to tell the truth to Amoria, whatever her name is. And so I told him that he wasn't a Dracula, but I guarantee you, Alphonse is a Dracula. I know it.
While I think that you're onto something.
I know it
for
in my
sure.
heart of hearts.
I think what I worry about mostly is that we've encountered some pretty otherworldly things so far on this short journey, and if Alphonse did anything to corrupt or potentially make Hissy evil, I will have to get some sort of revenge. I mean, it's unheard of. I don't know much about magic, obviously. I know very little, but if he's using some sort of if he has the ability to resurrect people or do something along those lines, I can't imagine that this would be any kind of holy, good thing. I just can't imagine that it would be good.
Well, now, I didn't pay enough attention when he was speaking to us, but I believe what I remember is that she came to him and not versa versa. So, it's possible that he had nothing to do with whoever this creature is. And if it is this Hissy person, more than likely he didn't have anything to do with her being alive. But I am probably wrong, as I'm wrong in most things.
Well, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility that she was resurrected, given that we know that Ganji has some ability to do that.
Speaking of which, so I've been doing some soul searching, and last night when I was sniffing Annulin's belly button, that one time I woke up, I realized that I think you should probably have this necklace from Ganji, because I'm wearing too many things, and it really clashes with my outfit. And, well, also you've almost died more than anyone else, and so it's probably better for you to take it, because if you ever fall into chaos holes again, well, it probably won't help you, but at least you would survive long enough to see what it looked like first.
You really want me to have it?
Well, yeah, because now that you're my best friend, I don't want you to die, and so, it would be kind of cool if you didn't,
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
I don't want to die.
Yeah, no, I know. So here, I wrapped it up for you. Don't worry, there's no poop in there. It's just a nice piece of cloth I found in my bag.
I'll take it and sniff it just a little, and then
It smells nice.
put it in my bag.
It smells like you, almost as if I was rubbing it on you last night, so it would have your scent. But
You
can't
got it like
fully-
That's sweet in a really creepy way.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I love you.
Pre-attuned to her.
Yeah, pre-attuned.
Well, I think that's a fantastic idea. You have almost died like at least 5 times.
Yeah, a lot.
You know who never dies? Avantris.
Yeah.
Well, you don't honestly try to avoid dying very hard, but it's a miracle that none of us, that we're all alive. It's honestly.
Yeah, and
You
then,
mispronounced skill.
and then speaking of gifts too, I want to give back the gift you gave me because I was keeping it in my bag yesterday, and all I think about is Orpheus's dad's butt every time I carry around this armor, and that makes me really uncomfortable. So I think I might just try to buy some new armor in town because I don't like Orpheus' dad butt armor. So here you go, and I hand it back to him.
You think I want that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can sell it or something, but it's stinking up my bag.
Now, Vandris, given its magical properties, I think it's... She can disguise herself whenever she wants with her hat.
Yeah.
So you having a better way to use your disguise kit and sneak around with that armor, it's not a bad idea.
Does it give me one more AC?
It does. Right?
Yeah.
Sold to the rogue in the front row. Oh, I guess I'll wear it then, I suppose. I don't like Orpheus, but I suppose maybe I could put it on and shake my butt in his face a little bit while I'm wearing it.
So you
That
don't
might really stick it to him.
you don't like Orpheus, but Orpheus doesn't like his dad, and it's his dad's armor, so that'll probably piss him off.
That's what I'm thinking. I like the way where your head's at.
And you can make it look however you want. You can make it look like regular clothes, right? Yeah.
Well, in that case,
Yeah.
can I make it look like I'm naked?
It needs to look like
No.
clothes or armor.
You could look like you're wearing a loincloth and some nipple pasties.
Yes! Do I just increase my AC right now to 18? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, what do you know? I'm wearing the armor now.
Yeah, well,
Does it have a name? Do I need to, like, write the name down?
Yeah, it has a name, but it basically just if you're using D&D Beyond, just do glamour leather armor.
I'm not, but I'll write that down
Okay.
anyway. I'm using a text file.
Oh, okay. It was Manticore's Justice, I think was the name I came up for it.
I like that. That's
That's better.
catchy.
Yeah, it's better.
While we're doing technical shit like that, what is the necklace called?
periaptive wound closure.
Harry what?
Yes, periapt, P-E-R-I-A-P-T.
That's Harry Butthole Amulet.
Yeah, hairy butthole wound closure.
Harry Brown.
Annulin, I would like you to have my hairy butthole wound closure, please.
Right as Maya joins, we start talking about Brad. Hey, Mayo.
Why? She brings out the best in us. Okay.
Just the best
You all
belches across the
exchange
land.
your items. There you go.
Well, see, this is nice. Genji kind of, even in spirit, he's protecting us.
When you get a minute, Mike, can you actually in text form send me what the armor actually does?
Yes.
No, you don't have to do it tonight. Just at some
Yeah,
point,
yeah,
I'll jot it
yeah.
down.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So
Hey.
what are we gonna do now?
Well, we could try to find Emiria and give her a boat.
No.
Are you
We're
up
gonna
for
have to
that?
face her eventually.
I suppose, but I'm honestly not looking forward to it, and I'd almost prefer it if one of you guys would give her the boat in my stead.
You're gonna say, Vandris, you have to. I mean, it might be the thing that can mend your relationship.
No.
I think we're past that. My jaw still hurts from the last time she punched me.
Yeah, because see, the thing is, most people don't accept boats as payment for broken boats that they loaned you as well as your dead friend. It kind of doesn't even out.
Now, let me just ask you this. If this is too personal, feel free to not... I don't mean to pry into kind of who your friends, but... Given that Forgus thinks that Hissy's alive, do you think Seamus and Emiria should know?
Yes, I do. I don't think Emiria will listen, and I think she'll hit me again when I tell her, but you're probably right. I need to do the best. Seamus will listen. He's good. He's a good man, but I think Emiria has basically written me off as dead to her as well, so we can do the best we can to find her and then try to talk to her, but we'll try.
And I wouldn't mind seeing the circus again. That was
Oh,
good.
no. I don't
No?
want to do that.
Alright, well, perhaps, Avantris, would you like to go to the Mon Ami with me?
No, I don't want to do
I'm
that.
down.
either.
I'm already halfway there.
And I suppose we should see Reeve while we're here as
No,
well.
I don't really want to
What
do
do
that.
you want to do?
Well, anything
Well, we
that
didn't
you...
even know where Reeve went, did we?
He's at his house, right? Yeah, he's like a manor.
Oh.
He's in a state.
Yeah, I'm really feeling like doing anything that you don't want to do.
Alright, well, I really don't want to see Reeve.
I want to go see Reeve, guys.
I really don't want to go to the circus
I
either.
really want to go to the circus, guys.
I hate the circus.
I love the circus. I'm so excited. I want to go. Can we go
No.
now?
Damn it.
Yeah. Hey,
All right,
guys,
why
let's
don't
go to
you
the
lead the way
circus.
then there, Sylvie?
Okay, let's go. Let's go to the circus. I'm so excited.
Well, it's not until, well, I suppose, do you want to stop by and see if you can speak with her?
I don't know if before or after show will be better. I feel like she has a stronger punch before the show starts.
That's fair. So perhaps we'll
Well,
save that for the evening.
Yeah, because if she
Yeah,
punches
we can
him,
ambush her when she's done her show.
And she'll be like on a performer's high. That's a thing, right?
well, and if she punches him before the show and then breaks like her knuckle or something, and then she goes to perform in the show, she'll perform less gooderist, and then the show will be suckierist, and then
Right.
I would dislike it because I love circuses.
Double agree.
Well, I don't, but I suppose I could go
Yeah.
later tonight.
I can't wait.
Grrr.
Yes, this is so good.
Well, I suppose in
I
the
never
meantime,
get my way, and now everyone's gonna go with me to do the thing I want to do.
I'd like to see
Wow.
Rambi. Just give him a scratch, feed him
I don't
a
wanna
carrot
do
or
that.
something. That's fine. You don't have to go.
Okay.
I'll go with you. I want to check on the birds.
I agree. I need to make sure Piccolo's okay. I know that Dobro is looking over us from somewhere and wants to make sure Piccolo's okay.
Well, I guess while you guys are doing that, I can go pick up my shopping.
It's fine.
That's a good idea.
I'm pretty stoked up, so yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess as the DM stepped away.
He's coming.
Oh, he's back. Okay, so I guess the three of us will go to the stables. Oh, before we go,
What?
why don't we meet out front of Reeves' estate in an hour?
Wait, why are we gonna do that?
So that we can go check in, see how he's doing.
Why would
see-
we want to do that?
Because Rodek hates Reeve.
Oh, I want to go do that then.
Oh, rats. Vandrus, why did you tell her?
2 hours.
What do we think, 2 hours or one? Can you get everything done in an hour?
Well, it depends on. I have
Alright,
really
2.
short stubblet legs, so it depends on how quickly I can walk.
Alright, to end, you have to go get some more armor. Or get the your
Don't tell me how to live my own life.
Alright, you do whatever, goodbye.
You
I
go
get up.
feed your animal.
Would the colors that I ordered be picked up or be done yet?
Seeing how that was like 2 days ago, no, he said a week, didn't he? He said a couple days.
He said a couple days.
Couple days. I would say you probably check in midway through the week.
Okay.
Okay.
To the stables.
Okay.
To the stables.
So, Sylvie, you go back to I got it. Jolly Joy Buzz. Got it. Or
Unicorn
Joyworks.
Kevin's.
Joyworks.
Jolly Joyworks.
Jolly Joyworks was the toy. You're going to the toy store. Or you're going with them.
Toy store. I'm going
Okay.
by myself.
So you go to the toy store, and I believe it should be done by now. And so I believe you paid up front.
I did.
And you paid up front, and so you go to the front desk, and you see that same toy store kind of buzzing. You see a bunch of kids kind of running around in there. There's a lot more excitement, a lot more kind of kids out and about now that that the town is kind of recovering from the weeks or the long time with the dragon turtle basically lurking outside. Yeah, probably about like almost 3 weeks at that point. And so you find that your order is ready. So they work very, very quickly and presented to you all in color-coded boxes. You see Rodek is this nice dark red color, Anilin is this soft forest green, and then Vanus is in this beautiful gray. And you take a peek and they show you that there is a perfect recreation of Rodek and Ramby, Piccolo and Avantris and Anulin and Sunny and Scramble. Did you get them?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, all of them are packaged together in their little boxes, and the toy master kind of grins at you and seems to be very proud of his work, and did you get Sylvie done too?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And so, he hands them all to you, he closes them back up, he puts them all in a very nice package, and hands them over, and says, he hopes you'll come back and see them again.
Thank you so much. This was exactly what I wanted, and there's no smell of fecal matter on them whatsoever. So bravo to you.
No, well, thank you. We don't use any fecal matter.
That's amazing, because everywhere else I've looked, and I've looked many places, they all use fecal matter, and so this is just top-notch work.
Jesus.
Well, Jack Joyworks does not use any fecal matter. You can spread that
I will
far and
spread
wide.
the word far and wide. Thank you so much, and have a jolly day. Bye.
No, thank you. Very relevant.
Yeah.
He waves as he sends you out, and you have these three beautiful boxes all kind of packaged together, so it's very easy for you to carry despite being a gnome. And you are heading back towards Reeves' estate.
Well, I wanted to also go by like a leatherworking shop and see if I could. We can do just brevity for it. I wanted to see if I could sell my like ruined armor for like scraps or whatever, and then purchase another set of studded leather armor.
Okay. Does anyone have the player's handbook? You passed that to me. I probably should have had for this episode like a bunch of like prices
Shorthand
stuff, but
great.
sorry, I ran out of time. You know how it happens. So
DMs.
So that'll be coming. So basically, I'll look through this. We'll say that you're able to sell it for scraps.
Okay.
And for a reduced rate, and then you're able to sell, and you're able to purchase a.
It's like a quarter value, maybe, or
Yeah. It'll be quarter value to sell it, and then for scraps, and then for full price for studded leather. And I will find it here at some point. And you go to it's not the Unicorn's Mane, they specialize in saddle and bridle and the like, but you are able to find a leatherworking shop that offers you fine leather, and you're able to order a few stains if you want to pay a little bit more. If you kind of want to stain it to look like a certain color, or get it custom embossed or engraved.
I'll just have it normal because I use my hat of disguise to make myself
right.
look like myself.
So I believe that will be, if I can find it. Okay.
That's unusually reasonable for you.
So he will give you about.
It really is. Wow.
He'll give you about 12 gold pieces for the scraps.
Okay.
And the new set will cost you 45 gold pieces.
Okay, so.
I finally found it. I
Perfect.
stalled long enough. Okay. So you get sized, and you know that there are a good number of gnomes, particularly forest gnomes, that are in Goldhaven, particularly from Ogway, as there's a lot of passage between the two sizable port towns in Carquinos. And so they have plenty of gnome armors, and you are able to find it fairly quickly. And so you get all ready to go, and you head towards Reeves' estate. The rest of you head to the stable together. You see all of your companions. Once again, the guy who sounds surprisingly like Forgus is not feeling too great about Sunny and Scramble there, and he's like, "Are you sure you don't want to get rid of him soon?" And
Sir, if you ask me again, we're gonna have a problem.
okay, I will not ask again. And so you managed to find all of them. I need everyone to make an animal handling check real quick.
What's around the stables, like area-wise?
It's kind of off towards the wall. There's a lot. There's a sea eagle post that's up there, and there's it's mostly kind of residential, and there are a few kind of general goods shops by the stables.
I got a 14 by the way.
Okay.
Any like open areas? Like, do they have like pasture kind of stuff or
There's
fields anywhere?
Oh, so there is a large pen where he'll exercise the horses and the other animals. He kind of is keeping Piccolo and Sunny and Scramble in a different side pen, away from the other horses and the like, or the other animals. But they're kind of running around. There is like a small park nearby, actually almost by where you saved Reeve.
Okay. I'm gonna take Sunny and Scramble out into one of the pens and basically like walk them around, give them some exercise, but then I want to start helping them up onto the fence and having them jump down and flap, kind of like some flight training.
Okay.
Like Mama Bird teaching them to fly.
Vanderson, what were your animal handling scores?
11.
Vanders?
Oh, we can't hear you. But
20. Can't hear you.
12.
12. Okay, Piccolo is nonplussed. She is kind of...
Son of a gun.
She seems kind of salty. You would probably get the sense... You remember, I would say that it's hard to... it would be easy to remember that Piccolo is kind of used to just kind of running around in the wilds and mountain ranges and through forests, and Dobro somehow would just call her. And so being cooped up, she's kind of irritated. It kind of turns away as soon as you show up. She seems a little bit cold. Ramby's excited to see you. It's kind of the same old. You give him a good scratch and he nuzzles you. You feed him a few vegetables and fruit, and he seems pretty solid.
yeah, I'd probably give him like a walk around the.
Yeah, you give him a walk around. He seems to be a lot more comfortable with all the horses and the like than the two birds. But Sunny and Scramble, they have like little like chicken wings. Like they are barely feathered at all. They just have fluff basically, and so the flapping is doing absolutely nothing. But they are kind of are waggling their wings. Give me another animal handling check.
It's muscle memory. Starts young.
Yeah.
That is a 21.
21. Okay, so they seem to get the hang of jumping and flapping, but obviously their down is not. I mean, they are very large and their wings are very small. So.
Would I have any like idea as Emulin like what the growth rate of something like that would be? Like how long does it take them to mature?
For a creature like that, I would make a nature and an arcana check at disadvantage.
Both at disadvantage?
Yeah. No, just do the arcana check at disadvantage and then do a nature check.
Arcana is 6. Nature's 12.
You have a sense of how vultures age, but given you have no idea where this creature is from, or you've never seen or heard of a massive two-headed vulture monstrosity like this, so you cannot even begin to understand.
Fair enough.
Okay. So you unless there's anything else you guys want to do, you leave your animals and you head to meet Sylvie out front of Reeves' stage.
I'd want to go to the guy and hello, friend. Do you know somewhere that sells wagons?
There's a vehicle shop not too far down here, just down Promenade and up the road.
And do they have wagons just to purchase, or to buy it in advance? I won't need it for a few days.
I imagine they'll have some in advance. If there's anything custom you want, I imagine you'd have to go ahead of time.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Something for that big fella may require some custom ordering. So
Right.
just be warned.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your business, and thank you. It's fine. You can keep the little bird thing I'm figuring out to let out. Just I send out my stable hand to find just rotting rats in the streets, and that's what works. So see, my voice is up here now instead of Forgus down, So it's fine. It's fine. I'm not Forgus.
I swear.
Not
Forgus.
Okay, you all meet. Probably takes you about the same amount of time to get there. Or probably Sylvie probably gets there a little bit later, I guess, because but you're like just a few minutes, and you all manage to make your way to where Reeves' large manor. You see a large metal gate that says Brachma over it, and you see a neat garden. You see that there are several enclosed little courtyards that are kind of graded off, where you'd be able to sit outside, but you'd kind of be enclosed from any kind of like birds or animals or anything. And you see a good number of like pools and fountains and the like, and kind of this beautiful but modest manor relative to a lot of the manors that you've seen in the in the district.
All right, we're all here.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's around.
Okay.
So I go up and I knock on the door.
Okay. So you are outside, and there are two sea eagles stationed at the gate, and so you're not able to get up to the house without getting past them.
All right. Hello there.
Hello?
Is the lord of the house in currently?
He never leaves, so yeah, he's in.
May we see him? He was in quite a bit of a bind that we saved him from last time we saw him. We just want to make sure he's doing okay. Just check in.
He usually doesn't have business with anyone besides the other serpents. What do you have?
Roderick, step aside. Please just tell Reeve that the heroes of Gullhaven are here to see him.
Oh, right. And I take out... Do you need to see this?
No. Of course.
And I show him the sea eagle emblem thing.
You flash the emblem. It kind of flickers and glints in the sunlight, and he nods and he pulls out a large key ring, and he pulls it open and he beckons you over, and he says, he'll be in the middle of lunch, but I'm sure he'll be happy for the visitors.
Thank you. We walk in.
Okay. You walk up to the door. There's a small path that leads you through a small garden area and up to a very large door. And you give it a loud knock, and it takes several moments, but then an elderly woman opens the door and says, "Are you here to see Master Reeve?"
Aye, we are.
What for? He's in the middle of lunch.
We were just wanted to check in on him.
Can you tell him Sylvie Flickerwicket's here to see him, please?
Sylvie Flickerwicket, one moment. The door shuts, and you probably wait about 2 minutes, and the door comes back open, swings back open, very wide. He wants you to join him if you haven't had a meal. Please come.
Lovely, thank you. Let's go.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
And
I follow Sylvie in.
She guides you through these kind of winding hallways. It's not nearly as elaborate and labyrinthian as Alphonse's or Vito's manners that you've seen, but it is very, very nice. It seems almost like overly antiquated, as if he's kind of a collector of antiques. And they guide you through a dining hall, and you see at the end of the table a mouthful of food, a relatively decent meal set out before him. The small, scrawny frame of Reeve Brachma. He's wiping his mouth with a napkin as you're entering, and he's swallowing. Hello everyone. Welcome.
Hey, Reeve. Your grandma's so nice.
And well, she's not my grandma. My grandma is dead. Horrible business. But
Oh, man.
yeah, no, she just looks after me. She gets me food when I need to. It's okay. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Well, thank you.
I heard you were back in town, and I thought, wow, that's pretty great.
Out of character.
Yeah.
How it's been a while. How much have we grilled Reeve on his relationship with Alphonse? I thought like basically none. We got some information from Amalia, but not directly from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
You asked him some very, if I remember correctly, and if anyone who's recently watched the episode, Derek, remembers, can correct me, but I believe you just kind of asked him a few questions, not super guiding. But only
Right, it was
one
very
joke.
vague. It was
Yeah.
very okay. That's what I thought.
You definitely did not. You did not grill him.
Because I'm ready to grill this mofo into the ground.
As you approach, you can kind of see that there's a lot of kind of cured meats, a lot of sausages all sliced up, and a lot of bread products. And he has a large plate with a bunch of just different food items, and he beckons to it and says, "Well, have a seat and enjoy. Share a meal with me if you're hungry. If you haven't, then more for me."
Well, thank you. I sit down. I'll start loading up a plate.
Do you have a booster seat?
I believe I can get something.
That would be great, because I'm a gnome and this table is not made for gnomes.
No.
Whoa! Thanks for the cheer, Eric.
Hey,
Wow.
thank you, Eric. You're the
Thank
best.
you.
Golly. Hi, Sylvie. It's good to see you again.
Hi, Reeve. Rodick hates you, so I wanted to come see you.
Oh, now why do you go and hate me, Rodak?
I don't know what she's talking about. You're
It
just...
wasn't in those words. It was not in those words.
Yeah, no, his
He's very fond
exact
of me.
words were, I don't want to see him at all. And I said, well, I really do.
No, it's just we were very busy at the time, but then now that we're here, I think it's great that we're here, honestly.
Oh, I don't want to be here at all.
I think you're a wonderful lad. And
This
that's
is being taken out of context.
totally out of
Severely.
context, and this was in private,
So?
in confidence that we talked about this.
Well, you were talking
Anyway.
about Reeve, and he's right here.
Regardless.
Don't say anything about
I don't
Reeve,
hate
you
you at
wouldn't
all.
want
I
me to
think
tell
you're a
him.
wonderful lad. And we wanted to stop by just to see how you're doing. You were very close to mortal peril when we found you last.
Oh no, I know. I was real rough there. All of my personal guards died. It was horrible.
I wouldn't listen to anything that Rodick says, because obviously he's very two-faced.
Can you both make persuasion checks, please?
This is going to be ugly.
It's the roll-up, ladies and gentlemen.
13?
9.
9? Oh, well, I guess so. But you did save my life, so, I mean, that kind of trumps everything, you know?
Yeah, I did.
Well, here. Excuse me, could we get a booster seat? Now, Sylvia will be sitting next to me.
Yeah, that's where I'll sit.
And the elderly woman, after a few minutes, comes out with just a kind of a box, but with a pillow on top of it. And so she props you up and sits you down and slides you in.
Thank you. Look, now I can see everyone face to face.
While we're on the topic, has your mentor checked in on you at all?
No, I mean, he sent a couple letters here, but I think that he's so busy he doesn't have time to worry about little old me.
Hey, Reeve, can
So-
I ask you a question?
Yeah, anything, Sylvie.
Have you ever seen him in the daytime?
Yeah, I've seen him in the daytime when I'm at his house, yeah.
Have you ever gone outside with him in the daytime?
Well, he's usually very busy in the daytime. He usually goes to his alchemy lab, and he doesn't like to be disturbed.
But you guys don't go outside and like frolic through the grass and hold hands and skip and stuff? Because that's what I do with my friends during the daytime.
Well, I've never done that neither day nor night, so I
But
can't
definitely
really...
not with Alphonse?
Oh, well, no, I never before, or with Alphonse either. No, I've
Okay.
never done... Going outside is a little uncomfortable for me. You know
Yeah,
how it is.
I know.
People see my nails and they make fun of me.
Yeah,
It's
you
hard.
look like a fast food Nosferatu.
I don't know what's fast food. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I
What
don't...
the ever-living shit is happening?
But you know, it's totally okay though. I was just curious because I've never seen him outside either, and I'm really worried about his vitamin D intake.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. He's usually during the day, he's so busy. I mean, he's the greatest alchemist in the world, you know. I mean, it's understandable that he says he's most productive during the day, so that's why he goes to his lab.
I mean, he probably takes supplements. It's probably not like a Dracula thing or anything.
Yeah, whatever those are, sure. Yeah, sure. I think he's
So,
fine. Anything you say, Sylvie.
Oh, thanks,
Did Alphonse flee the city, or did he have business elsewhere?
Well, he was real roughed up about the whole crocodile pirates and all that terrible business and everybody dying and everything being so chaotic, and he then told me that he had business in Agwe and he wouldn't be back for a long time, and I thought it was very like, wow, what a lot that lines up, and that's pretty good. And so I thought it'd be kind of sad because I won't be able to see people, and he told me not to make any decisions on my own without writing a letter, and I thought, well, if I can't ask you, then it's going to take so long and they'll just have to make decisions without me, and he told me that was a good thing, and it just it makes things so complicated.
That's a great story. We appreciate you telling us it.
Yeah, they won't let me make decisions on my own either. I think that they're really just shocked by my intelligence, and it makes them feel stupid, and I'm sure that's the situation that you're dealing with, Reeve.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. I mean, you know, I guess no one really wants to listen to me after my papa and my mama died, you know.
Well, yeah, and with how long your fingernails are, it's pretty repulsive to most people.
Yeah, I know, but I like him. It's comfortable for me, you know.
Yeah, and very uncomfortable for anyone that looks at you directly.
Oh, do you think I should cut him, Sylvie?
Yeah, probably, I would say.
Oh, I don't know. That's tough. Make a
But if
persuasion
you...
check with advantage.
25.
25. Oh, well, Sylvie, I mean, if you think I should, then I guess I'll do that
and
afterwards.
the thing is, if you do, can you put them in a little bag and send them to me? Because I collect things like that.
Dungeons and Dragons, where you can fight wonderful, amazing creatures, and instead we choose to convince NPCs to clip their nails. Imagination!
And then collect them.
Yeah.
In a little bag.
I guess if you say so, Sylvie, well, it'll be, if it's a token to remember me by.
Yeah, and then I'll send you something as thank you.
That would be nice. I would like that. Yeah. So eat. I mean, is everybody eating? It's, you know, I hope you like the food. It's okay. I mean, what am I gonna give this? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 6.8 out of 10. This meal, but I hope...
Well, I would give it a 4 because looking at your nails repulses me, and so that does ruin my overall eating experience.
I think it deserves, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is pretty good. I'd say at least an 8.5.
Well, okay. And he puts his hands beneath the table. He looks very sad.
Now, what's transpired since we've been gone? Have the other serpents checked in on you? Is there any news at all you could inform us on? We were gone quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, no one really tells me anything. They just, whenever the serpents meet and they need me on something, and I can give Alphonse some warning, I'll be there. And usually Amalia checks on me, and Campana, she sends me some people to play music, and I like to just kind of sit outside in a chair and listen to the minstrels play some music. You know, that's kind of fun, and you know, it's okay. But I mean, I haven't really been too aware. I don't go outside often, so it's hard to really tell. I know people weren't doing so well, but I'm privileged that I could just eat all I wanted. So I knew it was pretty bad though, but that's all I know.
Wow.
I hate to keep asking you random questions about Alphonse.
Yeah.
I swear we're here to see you and make sure that you're okay. It's not anything like that. But did Alphonse have any kind of a new companion that he may have been traveling to Agwe with?
Oh, a new companion? Like what? Like the halfling maybe?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Do you know who she is?
Yeah, I mean, a while ago, Alphonse said he found religion suddenly, even though he was an alchemist for hundreds of years, and he always kind of believed more in the magic and his own power instead of religion. I thought it was, if it makes him happy, a religious advisor. I mean, I saw her kind of from afar. She kept to herself, really. Alphonse didn't really let me snoop around his place too much. I kind of had to sit in my room or in the entrance hall. That's all I was allowed to really do.
What religion did she represent?
Oh, well, she worshipped Soluna, the Moon Maiden. She's a pretty popular god. It's nothing too fancy, but he found religion. He found her, I guess. He said he had a vision, and it was helping him find himself. I don't know. It's all, He was nice.
Did this advisor have a name?
No, he never said. He just said that he had a new spiritual advisor, and not to talk to her or look at her, or just kind of that it was for him and for her spirituality. I made her uncomfortable, and so that's.
I bet it was your fingernails.
Oh, I guess maybe it was the fingernails, and just nobody told me. That could be it.
Well, that's why you have friends who are honest with you.
Well, thank you.
I hate my life. I hate my life so much.
Says Avantris. Avantris, why do you hate your life?
I'm kidding. It was a joke. It was a bad one. Poorly timed. So how long has this advisor been advising Alpha?
Oh, I mean, I guess it's been months. Truth be told, it's been almost a year, I guess, maybe over a year.
Interesting. Well, I appreciate you letting us know, and it's good to see you. I'm glad everything's going well for you.
Did she glow with the ethereal translucence of somebody who is dead?
I don't know what somebody who's dead looks like besides all the guards and then my parents and my dreams.
Oh, but she didn't look like any of those?
No, I mean, she wore a hood the whole time and tried to, I never really got a good look at her face. I heard she was shy, and so I didn't want to pry. I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
Well, thank you for this meal. We're glad you're okay. We just wanted to stop in and say hi. We'll be around. We'll be in town for the next week or so. So if you need anything, let us know, and
thanks.
We'll probably run into you. Perhaps I guess you don't get out much, but
yeah, I don't. Yeah. Ever since my papa and mama died,
well,
it's been hard.
My husband just died recently.
Oh, you're married?
Well,
you seem kind of visibly deflated.
I was married. Well, we'd never actually got married. Actually, I don't really know what he was. He was Santa Claus. But anyway, he died.
Wow, that's an interesting name.
Yeah, and so now I'm single, so if you're really rich, then I might
really
be the
rich.
gnome for you.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm very rich. Yes, yeah.
Okay, well, I just wanted to put that on your radar.
Oh, wow, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that works. I never got married to nobody.
Yeah, well, it sucks when they die, and you have to give them powerful magical items to remember you by, but that's pretty much about it. Or like a massive house with lots of money, because otherwise it's just unfair.
Well, I mean, I'll try not to die. I guess
yeah, that would be great.
How that works. Yeah, sure. That's
but so anyway, that's on your radar. Clip your nails and we'll see what can happen.
Okay, I'll clip them right after this meal.
That sounds great. You should probably start clipping them before the meals, but...
Well, that ship has sailed.
Well,
like the ship my parents died on.
Yeah, well...
Like you bring up your parents
like
a lot.
the ship my husband died on.
That's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you mind? They died on a ship?
Yeah, they died on a ship. It was terrible stuff. I miss them terribly.
Do you mind me asking, when did this happen?
It happened 3 years ago.
What were they doing on the ship?
I mean, they were heading to some business that they had attended to. I mean, they were talking about doing something for Gullhaven, and that Alphonse had called them out on some business, and so they left. And then terrible storm. I mean, apparently it came up out of nowhere, and the ship was never found.
And you said that there was on business for Alphonse.
Oh yeah, they were on their way to Agwe. Yeah.
In one capacity, right?
Did you send someone out to look for them?
Oh yeah, no, Amalia sent him out. I mean, you know, my Papa John was one of the Silver Serpents, and so it was obviously a big deal when he went missing.
In what capacity did they work for Alphonse?
No, I mean they didn't work for. I mean, Papa was having a disagreement with Alphonse about the way that he was running things. He didn't like how much leeway he gave to Belliver, and how much he was letting people into Noble Garden, and kind of all. He said that there were ruffians kind of coming all in and ruining the neighborhood. You know, you got to lock your doors more at night, and he didn't like that. He was wasting. You know, he was trying to get everyone to fund his parties and the wildness, and you know, he was having a disagreement, and so they were going to hash it out, and it was just terrible stuff.
And why did he go to Agwe?
Well, because Alphonse was there at the time. Yeah, I mean, and then after it happened, he came back and he told me he was sorry. He took me under his wing. It was so nice to have someone. It was like, you know, he really consoled Laudna after her husband died. He was murdered. It was terrible stuff.
Well, it's always good to have someone who is so generous and kind to those who are in need.
Yeah.
So,
At the very least, they ran the dwarf that murdered him out of town, and I mean, they never got justice, but he never showed his face again.
yeah.
What? Wait, just so I understand. A dwarf murdered who?
Oh, yeah, no, he murdered, he was some big shot that was gonna come set up shop in town. He was he ran a bar and a brothel, very, very unscrupulous. I don't mess around with any of that. And he was gonna set up shop, and then for whatever reason, he I guess business arrangements gone wrong. He stuck a knife in Laudna's husband, who was another serpent at the time too. And then before they could arrest him, he fled. He fled north.
Do you remember the name of this guy? Was it a Swedgen by chance?
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Interesting.
Yeah, why?
Oh, I just heard, we were in this town, and there's this really chatty gnome. She's also very cute. You probably like her. And she was telling me
gnomes.
this. Yeah, I know. And she was telling me this story about a vicious Swedgen, and it's kind of become an urban legend.
Yeah,
and so I was just wondering.
I heard he doesn't treat his people good, and horrible stuff. And just so terrible after that happened, and luckily. Alphonse took her in, and and they've been very close ever since, and it's been good to see that. He's very consoling.
Do you know who Swedgen was dealing with as far as trying to break into the market here? Do you know who he was talking with, who he was doing business with?
Well, I mean, I think they were was talking at the very least to what the fuck is his name? He was talking to Mr. Gilda Bromald, and I think just I guess they were arranging something, and I know that Mr. Belliver was none too pleased, and it was just apparently he was bringing in a lot of girls and a lot of good stuff, and he had a lot of plans to expand, and I guess something went wrong. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a businessman. I kind of stay inside. I eat my food, and I listen to music, and that's really all I do.
Well, go ahead.
I say, all right. I appreciate you filling us in.
Well, thank you. And has the other serpents that aren't quite as visible, Campana and who's the other guy? The older guy? Bartholomew.
Oh, they're visible, yeah. I don't know why you think they're not visible.
Oh, I guess we just haven't, for whatever reason, we haven't quite ran into them throughout town, but have there been any recent deaths in their vicinity?
No, they seem to have been fine. It's really just, it's just terrible stuff. There's always disagreements, and then there's strife, and then just something horrible happens. But it usually gets better,
Well, we wish you the best, and at least for now, hopefully there's peace in Gullhaven. And now perhaps you can trade with the lizard folk over in Gangplank.
Well, I'm not with the one that tried to carry me off. You killed that one.
No, he's dead. That's right. That's right.
He
He's
died
dead.
a long time ago.
Is everyone done with their meal?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was lovely. Thank you.
Delicious.
Well, thank you, and we'll see you around.
Well, thanks, and if you want to talk more, I'm always around. I just don't leave the house.
Yeah, okay. Well, send me those nail clippings when you get that done.
Yeah,
and
I'll send them over for
yeah,
sure.
you know. And now that you have a girlfriend, you can talk to me about all the weird things that happen and that you hear about. Because, that's what boyfriends or girlfriends do.
Oh, is that what they do?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
So just make sure to send me lots of messages and keep me updated on your life.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be out and about,
Yeah, sure, that sounds fine, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go outside enough for the both of us.
Oh, wow, that'd be great, because it's scary out there, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that's... Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, it's hard, okay.
All right, well...
He's kind of visibly a little bit, perking up a little bit.
Yeah,
He's
and-
kind of smiling.
So, eventually you're going to have to get me a really expensive ring, because otherwise people are going to think that, we're not together, and that would just be terrible,
that would be horrible. No,
Yeah, you want to just make sure everyone knows.
No, I would never be that kind of guy, no.
Exactly. So, get that on your... Think about that. But anyway, we're going to go, so we'll see you when we see you. All right?
Okay.
Buddy, and she, elbows him in the side.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, see ya,
Yeah.
buddy. Is that what they say?
Yep, that's
Oh.
that's how you do this relationship thing.
Oh, wow. I've never been in
Yeah.
one. It's hard to believe, I know.
Yeah.
Alphonse says I'm a very handsome young man, but,
Yeah, well.
it just never happened. Haven't found the right one,
Well, not until now.
Okay.
So,
Bye.
see you, bud. Bye.
You're guided out by the elderly woman. She closes the door behind you. You're guided back out by the sea eagles, who take you back out onto the promenade, and you are back out in Noble Garden.
Out of character. We have not spoken to Loudna, have we?
You have
At the party.
at the masquerade ball. She was with Alphonse.
Okay, briefly. And she didn't see our faces.
No.
Got it. I cannot remember that conversation for the ever-living hell of me, but I have a feeling it probably wasn't very deep.
It was kind of the conversation was Alphonse. She was kind of more like pleasantries with her, because Alphonse was kind of wheeling and dealing, and she was just kind of being at his side, talking to people that came up to him, and just talking off to the side. And she seemed a little bit visibly annoyed with the interest he took in Sylvie. That's kind of what you would remember.
All right, gang. I think we need to get somewhere quiet and safe. I think we have to have a quick chat.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
Let's go back to the inn.
Agreed.
Okay. You make your way. It's late afternoon at this point, probably. He's been having a late lunch, and so it's approaching dusk if you hang out here, and you're back in the room or the bar or whatever you want.
I'd do the room, I think.
The room. You're back in the room.
Okay, so, obviously I have no interest in getting married again. My heart is still incredibly broken over the loss of Santa Claus. However, I do think that Alphonse is Dracula. I do think something nefarious is going on, and I'm starting to believe that he's having people killed off for his own nefarious deeds, including Reeve's parents. And so, if Reed thinks that we're in a relationship, and obviously he's completely in love with me, then I can potentially convince him to funnel me all the information that could really help us.
I think
After you, Rodek, please.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's brilliant. And it's.
And honestly, I really have no standards, so I would be totally fine with marrying him, you know, if it needed to happen or whatever.
I'm glad he mentioned that dwarf, because now that we know that Swedgen was the one that killed Bromald.
Bromald.
Bromald Gilda.
So about that,
Right.
I have reason to believe that while Reeve probably believes that story to be true, it's most likely not true.
I think that it was probably just a cover-up because he was directly competing with the other brothel in town, and they needed to get him out while also covering up a murder of one of the 7 serpents. So what better way than to utilize this new dwarf in town with a bustling business than to cover up a murder by blaming him?
Now, Swedgen is obviously, you know, he's a bit of a gangster. He, you know, has his own thing going on, and I'd like to believe that we can trust the man. I think that we've earned his trust, and I think that he trusts us. I don't think that he really has reason to lie to us after everything that we've been through with the lycanthropy and him helping us out. But I can't say for sure. All I can say is that I know that he warned me about this long before I ever knew that it was going to come up. So clearly there's some history here, and he told me specifically to not believe the widow's lies.
Now, you mentioned that you have reason to believe that it's not true.
Well, you just said he was told specifically not to believe the widow's lies. Obviously, I'm not the widow, because at that point, Swedgen didn't know I was going to be a widow.
Wait, hold on. Who told you that? Did I miss it?
Swedgen.
Swedgen told you.
No,
Avantris.
Swedgen told me privately. He wrote me a correspondence, but he asked me not to share it with anyone.
Like, months ago, you had
Correct.
this...
Well, as we left for Gullhaven, he wrote me a letter and told me not to open it until I was private. And this is all I can share. I can't afford to tell you anymore.
Well, that seems a little silly.
Is there more information in it? What does he say?
That's the problem. I mean, the letter's pretty sparse. It just... I've been keeping my eyes and ears open for anything in that letter that may pertain to anything that we've encountered up to this point, and this is the first I'm hearing anything, so...
Yeah, but maybe we know something.
I believe him.
I would tell you
him.
if Swedgen wrote me a letter and told me not to tell you guys. I would tell you anyway.
I don't think you cross a man like Swedgen. I think that's...
Well,
I don't think that's wise.
I don't think you cross a gnome like Sylvie, and Sylvie's being crossed right now.
That's a fair point. You don't
I'll
cross
take
her.
my chances.
I'm gonna polymorph him.
Okay. Roll again. Roll with saving throw.
Oh, I have to?
Yeah.
What's the DC?
19.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Almighty. I can see if I have any tricks up my sleeve before I roll this die. You know what? We've got a whole week here. I think I'm feeling lucky. Kelsey can come check it out. I rolled a natural 20.
No way.
She is gonna go look at you because she doesn't believe him.
You feel, you see Sylvie kind of, you see her raise out a hand, holding her, the cane, Matthias's cane, and a loud poof of kind of glitter comes over. You feel it start to warp your form, but you're able to resist it.
You're lucky this time, Avantris. But if you keep pulling this crap, I'm polymorphing you into a goldfish and putting you in my butt crack. Do you understand me?
Some would say that I'm always lucky, but
Well,
we
some
won't
would
go there.
say You're going in my butt crack if you keep this shit up.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't fuck with her. I
Like,
really
seriously, what is this bullshit? You're constantly hiding stuff from us. How
Listen,
are we supposed to trust you? You didn't tell us about Hissy. You didn't tell us about any of your friends here. We have to constantly beg and beg and beg and beg for information. And time again, I had lost my connection to Titania. You want to know what? I had a fucking dream, Avantris. I had a dream that Titania left me, and I did that for you guys. And if you can't tell me what's in that stupid note, then I don't think we can be friends anymore. And that is the honest to God truth. Because I have done far more for you than you have ever done for me at this point. And Sylvie's going to sit in the corner with her arms crossed and just stare at you.
Are you done?
Well, that depends. Are you ready to start being honest, or are you going to keep being a shady fucking asshole?
To be fair, all of the stuff with my past and my history here never should have come to light. That isn't for anyone other than me. I never thought that any of those people that I used to bounty hunt with would ever come into play with this ever again. Now, with the stuff with Swedgen, I agree with you. I wanted to share it with you. But, as we've discussed in the past, Swedgen isn't necessarily someone that I want to mess around with. Now that I know that he may not necessarily be the person we thought he was, I thought we could trust him. I read his letter for what it was, kept it very close due to the way that he said that I should, and now I'm hearing that there's a potential chance that he killed someone. Now, I'm sure he's killed lots of people, but if he killed one of the Silver Serpents, then maybe he's not what we thought he was. All I'm saying is he told me not to trust the Widow's lies, and now I'm sharing that with you. I figured I would share the important information as it came to light, which it has, and here we are.
But you are the one who's deciding what's the important information and not allowing us to potentially be able to help you. Just because you haven't seen anything in that letter that's important doesn't mean that we haven't, that we wouldn't be able to.
And had he said that it was good for the group, I'd have shared it. But I figured I'd put my trust in Swedgen just a little while longer.
Well, at least now I know where your loyalties lie.
It has nothing to do with loyalty and simply the safety and trust that I gave an individual who may not deserve it anymore. But we'll find out in good time.
Well, I'm honestly with her. I think at this point, you know, she's obviously Alphonse is up to no good. And I certainly hope that there's nothing else in that letter that could give us information that would help us make an informed decision at this present moment. And, you know, perhaps you don't think so, but I guess that remains to be seen.
I promise you the letter was very vague.
All right, that's fine. If you won't share, then I'm not going to force you. But I think I'm honestly inclined to believe Swedgen over Lodna Gilder.
I mean, I have no issue believing Swedgen. Like I said, I don't think he's the one that did it.
Right.
I think that it was all a trick to get him out of town so that he wasn't direct competition with what's his face over at that gambling place.
I hope
Picked
that
up
you're
my
right.
husband.
And if it turns out that our trust and my trust is misplaced, then I will, have to pay for that, and I'll have to find a way to make it up to all of you. But for now, we don't really have a choice other than to believe him because he has helped us get this far.
The difference is that you do have a choice. You have a choice to say, I have this information, but I think that it's best if I share it, even if someone told me I shouldn't. Because there's information I've shared with you that I'm sure Titania was not happy that I shared with you. I have done things like utilizing my powers to try and save us from that dragon turtle that I'm sure are not going to bode well for me in the future. But you guys meant something to me, and so I did it. And you may think that you are doing the right thing, and I hope that for your sake that is true, but just know the damage you have done to a friendship by the way that you constantly hide and lie to those of us that have always been here for you. I am starting to understand why your ex-girlfriend is so pissed at you.
For the 100th time, she's not my ex-girlfriend. But that's neither here nor there.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Are we going to the circus? What time is it?
It's probably sunset at this point.
It's probably starting soon. Let's go get tickets.
Well, before we do that, I have something I want to give Annulin and Rodak.
And Sylvie's gonna kind of like go through her stuff and hide the Avantris one, and she's gonna pull out 2 boxes.
I just want you guys to know that the both of you mean a lot to me, and that I don't allow myself to become emotionally attached to people very often because people are mean and cold and they don't like me because I'm weird. But you guys put up with me and you love me anyway. And so, Rodek, you can throw out that poop doll I made you because I made this for you instead.
And I hand him his box and I hand Annulin hers, and in them are like exact doll replicas of you guys. And each one of you, like, you have a Rambi. You've got little armor pieces, and yours has a Sunny and Scramble, and they've got like their little tufts of fur, and all of your like armor is meticulously crafted.
And I know that it's weird, and why, as you know, an adult dwarf, an adult wood elf, would you want a doll? I don't know, but I like dolls, and it was the only way that I knew how to show my affection. So I just want you to know that I'm glad to have you in my life, and that from this day forward, for the both of you, I would give up my life for yours if I had to, because that is friendship, and that is where we stand. Also, Vandris, you're all right.
You're all right too, Sylvie. I appreciate the kind words.
This is incredible.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. This is
I used all the
wonderful.
money I made from fucking the pirate for these.
Well, that's just fine.
Yeah,
I
don't
really
worry.
do-
I didn't touch any of our group gold. It was all my pirate fucking gold that I used. Yeah.
You don't have to tell me where you got the money. I don't need to know that. It's the thought that counts, and this is wonderful.
Well,
it's a wonderful gift.
It's important that you know because it's not really a gift if I use your gold to buy it for you.
No,
And then,
even if you did, I would still think this was a sweet and lovely gift. Thank you
okay,
so much.
well, you're welcome.
This is, and Rambi, he's so cute. Look
Yeah,
at him.
isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big...
I always say there's nothing quite like fucking pirate gold.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Right.
got a lot for it.
Did you?
Yeah, because Looney
Yeah.
helped.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Anyways, thank
No!
you.
Yep.
Well,
It was a team effort, but we love you guys.
well, I love you too, Sylvie, and
Okay.
thank you for letting us into your life, and thank you. I do appreciate your whatever sacrifice you made to use that helm.
Well, I don't really want to talk about it.
All
But
right.
let's go to the circus because I really want to be best friends with the bitch that floats.
All right, well, let's go.
Okay. So,
2 Fae, 1 fuck.
as
Jesus.
That's so disgusting.
you make your way out of the Wit and Whimsy, you see that there's a beautiful sunset over the sea, casting this beautiful hue of oranges and reds and purples across the sea and across the harbor, and kind of basking, or Gullhaven is basking in a glow of sunset as the sun dips behind the horizon and darkness falls. You've made your way past the various districts of Gullhaven to the Black Pearl Square, I believe is what it's called. And how did I remember that? And as you're walking through the town, and it's getting a little bit chillier as autumn is turning to winter, and you are starting to see the excitement and the energy happening in the city. And as you could probably deduce, by the time you get to the square, the circus is a madhouse. And there are throngs of people waiting in line, kind of going in, everyone's trying to buy their ticket. There's a lot of excitement, and it seems like people are finally ready to celebrate, kind of ready to enjoy the circus. And finally they have something they have a chance, similar to you guys, to kind of finally breathe and kick your feet up and enjoy the circus. And so you head up and do whatever you'd like to do.
I think we're just gonna buy tickets and go to the circus.
Okay, I'll say that it's probably about 5 silver a ticket, we'll say.
Okay.
5 silver a ticket
So that'd
for
be
the...
20 of us. Or, no, yeah, there are 4 of us.
We'd like 20 tickets, please.
It's 2 gold.
I'm using the silver to get rid of some of our silver.
So, you get tickets and you're shuffled inside, and just for the sake of brevity, the Mr. Magnus comes out. You remember him as the tall, muscular but a very well dressed human with a thick black mustache and this slick black hair, kind of hairy all over. You remember seeing him in his office, Rodek, with kind of just kind of more like a white beater on and enjoying his beverages. But he's dressed to the nines, bow tie, cane, and he is full of far more energy than you saw the first time. He seems to finally be excited that his circus is finally full again. Right? He's excited that his circus is finally full again, and he promises you an outstanding show. And the show delivers. There are clowns. There are strange wild animals. You remember that there were out dancing owlbears, and the finale was a manticore tamer, and it was incredible. It was an incredible act. And then obviously the acrobats, the trapeze artists. There's an incredible display, and sure enough, in the act, while juggling swords, flying around in the trapeze, is a myriad devil dance, kind of doing this strange, exotic dance as she's flinging blades through the air. It looks incredibly dangerous, but she manages to nail it. She gets an enormous round of applause, and you all really enjoy the show, and it's a phenomenal display, and everyone is cheering. Mr. Magnus at the end, and all the performers that come out, along with all the animals that are a little bit less dangerous, do a bow, and the whole crowd erupts into cheers.
I'll cheer along.
I guess we have to find her, I suppose.
That was a wonderful show, and she's talented. Was that? Go ahead. Sorry.
I thought it'd be longer.
Yeah, it was about the same length as last. It was still enjoyable. It's been a month,
Yeah,
and
I want some cotton candy.
Yeah, can we get snacks?
let's get some snacks, and let's try to see if we can sneak back like we did, and we'll meet with Amelia.
There should be some sort of waiting area or exit where the actors and actresses emerge from, perhaps.
Okay. You get probably about 4 silver pieces worth of snacks. That's enough to load you guys up. I'm imagining that you get a ton of snacks, cotton candy, all that sort of thing, different candies and meat on sticks and the like, and delicious bread treats. And you wait for the crowds to disperse as the throng of people is kind of funneling out of the various exits of the big top. It kind of dies back down, and you start to see the carnies rush out with their brooms and mops. You see one kind of shoveling owlbear shit that had been on the ground, kind of cleaning up after the animals. And you see kind of the laborers starting to just start to rearrange things, break down things, and you're able to linger back. But you kind of see that there are a few muscular people that are armed that are kind of looking around, trying to make sure that kind of ushering people out the door.
What are we gonna do?
Well, I suppose we'll just have to go up and ask. I'll walk up to one of the armed crazy people and say, hey, I'm looking for a myriad devil dance again.
Yeah, again, who are you?
I was here before. I'm an old friend of hers, and she probably doesn't want to see me, but it's urgent that I see her.
What's in it for me? Listen, I don't like to mess with Emiria.
Yeah, you're telling me, pal. What's it gonna cost me to get past you? Just go talk to her for a few minutes.
How much you got?
I have a gold
I don't
piece.
know. Those are pretty bold words for somebody within stabbing range.
I've got a gold piece.
5 gold pieces.
Oh, I don't have that. It's under.
Just jerk your money.
It's
We'll
under
make
my
it
left
3.
breast.
3, and we're good.
Make a persuasion check. With advantage because Sylvie helped.
Hey, I rolled a 19 and my persuasion's really high. Oh, damn, I have plus 11 to persuade. I got a 30.
He hands out 3 gold pieces.
I will give him 3 gold pieces.
Oh.
Thank you, Sylvie. I appreciate it.
They're still warm from my heaving bosom. You're welcome.
He kind of wipes off the gold and puts it in his pocket and says, if she asks, you snuck in.
Okay. What's
What
your
else is
name?
new?
You don't
My
know.
name's Sylvie.
My name is Paul, and that's between y'all. And he turns around and walks in the other direction.
Alright, we'll walk in.
Okay.
That's a weird name for a guy like that, Paul. But I guess it suits him.
I can see it.
Yeah.
As you dart behind the cast tent, and you are having to weave in and out as you see kind of clowns undressing. There's so much commotion, and it seems chaotic, but there seems to be a rhythm and method to the madness of these performers as they're all getting undressed, and you see towards the back where the performers are. There's some performers. They're all sitting in chairs in this huge row of mirrors that are all propped up on these wooden stands, and you can see on the end of one of these is Amiria. She's just wiping off the makeup, and you can see that she's fully caked. She's fully caked in this makeup. Her rust-colored tiefling skin. I think that's what she was. This kind of rusty tiefling skin, kind of accentuated by the makeup and being wiped out. You guys,
Kelsey, you're a mess.
you guys are incorrigible. You guys are incorrigible.
I don't know the meaning of the word.
And you see her just kind of intently. She seems very intense, and she's just wiping things off, and she's just looking in the mirror.
More perceptive than I've ever been in my entire life. Very carefully gauging the dueling distance between us, I shout, "Hey, Amiria, how's it going?"
Jeez.
You see her, and then as soon as you shout, "What the fuck are you doing here, Avantris?"
Don't.
She looks in the mirror up at you. She looks directly in the mirror, and you make eye contact as she's looking back up over her shoulder, and she can clearly see you.
Don't run. This is important. We just need to talk for a few minutes, and then I'll be gone again. I promise.
You're lucky you're bothering me at work.
That was kind of the plan. I was hoping that you couldn't attack me lest you get fired.
Magnus has allowed me to get away with some stuff. You want to push your luck?
Not really. Fair enough. We'll let it be.
You can hear you.
So-
can hear you.
First off, most importantly, I got you a new boat. We got you a new boat. It's a gift. It's a replacement for the one that I utterly destroyed, and I'm sorry. And it's got a really cool name, and I think you'll like it.
Yeah, it's called the bitch that floats, because you're a bitch, and when you're on it, you'll float.
You're not a bitch. We never said
No,
that. That was
you are a
not part of
bitch.
the name.
No, it is, because I made you a sail for it, and it says the bitch that floats.
Well, I mean, that's the name, but it's more like that, not because we're naming it after you.
No, but I am naming it after her. I'm the one that made the flag, Amiria. So, you're a bitch, you're gonna float on it, and that's what it's called.
But it works on a lot of levels. It's kind of like referencing Umberlee, who's the sea bitch we've had.
Yeah, sure.
So that's, I think, that's more of the reference versus
No.
you being, you know.
Make a persuasion check at advantage, Sylvie.
Thank God. 19.
19. As you're all kind of mumbling, you start to see there's this glare on her face as she's looking directly at you, Vandus, and then once you kind of hears that, she looks down at you, Sylvie, and then you can see a smile crack a little bit, and she chuckles a little bit and says, "Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a bitch, so where's the boat? Is
It's
at the
docked
dock?
in the harbor, yeah. And the flag that I made for you is on the bed, so you can just have like some schmuck or whatever put it up for you, unless you want to scale it. Looks like you're pretty talented at just climbing things and flying all over, so I think you're probably capable. But yeah, I made it for you, so that way everyone will know when you dock it in the harbor that the bitch has arrived.
That sounds great. I'm glad you guys understand each other.
Yeah, also, I tried to polymorph Avantris, and I was going to put him on my butt crack as punishment, but it didn't work. I thought you'd think that was funny.
I appreciate that. You're okay, sweetie. And she stands up out of her chair, and she strides over to you slowly. It's the heroes of the town.
Yeah.
That's what they're calling us.
Huzzah! And that's the only reason that. And she taps the two scimitars at her hips, and she looks at you and says, "You allowing me to put bread on my table again is the only reason these aren't through you, Avantris."
Fair enough. Totally understood. But there's one more thing that we do have to discuss because this is pretty important. Are you aware that Forgus was arrested and thrown in jail for like a month?
Her eyes widen, and she's shocked for a second, and then she just puts a hand to her face and says, "What did he do?"
Well, he tried to kill Alphonse LeBlanc because he thought he was the Dracula.
Well,
What?
yes, but more importantly, the reason that he attacked Alphonse, we may have given him that idea, which is neither here nor there.
That's ridiculous.
He thinks he saw Hissy alive.
Make a dex saving throw, please.
I think I have no, just regular straight up dex. Okay, all right. I'm feeling lucky. Let's just say that.
It's a saving throw, though, right?
Yeah.
So you add your proficiency because you're proficient.
Yeah, it's still only a 17, and I feel like I need to roll better than that. Oh, proficiency, it would be 8, so that would be 20.
20? Okay. So, you try to dodge out of the way, but her fist is even faster than you remember.
What?
And she clocks you in the face. You take 1 plus 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Sylvie claps and starts eating her cotton candy.
That was amazing!
And
Alright.
you stumble
Alright,
back.
You still got it.
What the fuck, Avantris? That's not funny!
Oh, he's not lying.
Listen, I did the same thing to Forgus. I almost choked him out behind the bars while he was still in jail.
He did.
I believe that he saw what he thinks he saw, but we don't have any way to confirm it. Regardless, this isn't something that I would joke around with, and I think it's important that you know.
Yeah, I know that you can't believe him because he's a liar and a rogue and a tramp and a cheat and an asshole and all those other terrible things.
At least you're honest with your friends. That's a good
That's
thing.
just what I've deduced having known him. But I was there, and Forgus said that he believed he saw Hissy, and I'm not going to begin to pretend like I know who she is or what she meant to you, but I do know, based on what Forgus told me, that she meant a lot to you, and if there's a chance she's alive, then we would like you to know about it. It's not fair that it's being kept from you. And that was what Vandris said, was that even though he knew you were going to punch him in the face and that you might be mad and kill him, that it wouldn't be fair if you didn't know what we had heard. And so that's why we're here.
Make a persuasion check with advantage, please.
14?
A sense of gravity comes to her face, and you can see her kind of familiar where she's like the fist that she punched you with. Her knuckles are a little bit sore, and they're a little bit raw. And she's clenching, and she looks at you, and she looks at Sylvie, and she immediately turns around, and reaches down to a little backpack or a little satchel that's by her makeup chair, and she throws it over her shoulder, and she walks very quickly up to you and says, "Where is he?"
Well, I believe he's still in jail. However, we spoke to him, and he's going to be talking with, what's her name? Amalia. Sorry, your names are very similar. He's going to be talking to Amalia, and she said that hopefully she'll have him out within a couple of days, and he'll be going back to his home. So, we just wanted to let you know early, to give you some time to process it, so that when you talk to him, you don't do anything rash.
Currently, Seamus is in the Kench at Forrest's old hideout with Orpheus, but that's all under control.
What?
And I know. Look, he's real tough. He's real tough. Orpheus is weak. He's basically a useless worm at this point.
Yeah, he's all out of magic.
I trust Seamus. Maybe we can all meet back at Forrest's hideout when Forrest is released from prison.
Yeah, and also Seamus doesn't know yet, so maybe don't tell him in a very mean way, because we think that it's also going to affect him emotionally, and so we're just trying to be gentle.
That was our next stop. We were going to tell him next.
But then yeah. So on top of that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, can I heal your hand for you? It looks painful.
And I'm gonna healing word her hand.
What's the word?
Health for the bitch.
And then I'm gonna heal her hand.
You start to see some of the patches close up, and she grabs her fist and shakes it out. Thanks, I guess. I mean, Avantris, you are a fucking terrible hero. You should stick to bounty hunting. Well, you were terrible at that too. Maybe get a real job like the rest of us. I'm
getting a lot of mixed signals
It'd be
from
16
everyone here.
HPs.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, she's fine. She turns, points at you. If you two are fucking with me, I'm killing that motherfucker, and then I'm killing you.
I promise you this isn't a joke. I can't tell you whether or not it's real. I'm going off of what Forgus told me, and I promise you I almost did the same thing you're threatening to do to me to Forgus. So, why don't we all find out together, and we don't point any fingers until we get to the bottom of this. Sound good?
I'm gonna see if I can talk to him now. Okay. Anything else?
Now, hold on. How do you expect to talk to him now if he's in the middle of Blood Anchor, 4 stories below the ground?
I'll talk my way out of it. I've talked my way out of worse.
You can talk your way into Blood Anchor, the most heavily fortified area of all of Goldhaven.
Yeah, I tell him I'm best friend with Avantris.
I wouldn't say best friends. That's a little, that's a little disingenuous at this point.
You owe me.
I will go with you.
I do owe you. That's fair, I suppose.
I will be willing to accompany you and see if I can help you get in.
I like you.
I like you too, because you don't like him, and I'm mad at him.
What else is new?
That's a shock. Okay, well, I mean, he's... No,
but he does mean well. I know you don't believe it, but he does.
I don't. But that's fine. That's fine. This is a lot to process.
Yeah.
This is a lot. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel. But I'm gonna get over there, and I'm going to try to talk to that fucking drunk. And if he's fucking with me, then I'll just put a scimitar through his neck. That's fine.
He's probably not, and maybe try not to kill him. Just maybe not.
Yeah. If you try to hurt him, I will use magic on you, just so you know.
Well, let's hope he's not lying.
Yeah, I just want to let you know, you won't win. You're very talented, but I'm a gnome, so it is what it is.
I don't know what that means. Okay, yeah, so what do you, and you kind of see that she's hesitating a little bit. Is this what is this? What are you guys doing here? You brought back the guy who almost killed everyone, and I mean, you're playing hero now, Avantris. I mean, are you trying to make amends? And why are you sticking around? And why are you sticking around to each other? I'm sure there's no way. There's no way that you're all that your paths are all aligned. I don't buy it. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Well, for now at least, I figure they've helped me stop Orpheus, which started off as just a simple mark, and you know, like you said, I was never really a great bounty hunter, so maybe I'm giving it up for good, and I owe these guys, so I figured I'd help them out with the things that they need.
Yeah, and he won't say it, but he likes us.
I think I've said it a lot. You guys have saved my ass more than I care to admit. I love all of you.
See? So that's why we keep him around. And, you know, he's fucked up a lot. He's almost gotten me killed on multiple occasions, but, you know, I'm sure I've almost gotten him killed too, and I tried to put him in a butt crack, so, you know, I think that's family right there.
She rolls her eyes and looks at you and says, "Forever the lovable fuck up."
Yep, every party's gotta have one.
That's what I do.
We're still not cool, so don't think that we are.
Hey, I wouldn't have guessed that any other way for a second.
Okay.
Do you want to see your boat?
I can take you by to see your boat, too. You want to get on my broomstick and we'll fly? It'll make it quicker.
I'd rather walk, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. It'll just be slower.
Okay, let's go.
And I'll go with her.
Walk down. I'll let her know, like, oh, you have a crew?
Give me the thing. Give me that weird little symbol thing.
Wait, how bigg is the boat?
It's
bigger than yours. It's bigger than her.
It's
Her
a
last
big
one.
It's a nice boat.
Oh,
a
yeah, no, I
big
mean,
boat.
she could take it out on her own. And so there was a little, you know, a little guy.
It's
That's a
like
big one.
About 4 times the size of your old boat, but I mean, bigger's better, right?
Who's gonna man it? Who's the crew?
There's a whole crew. As long as we can pay at least for a few weeks in advance, if you'd like. I think they're already paid through when?
I don't
For
know,
a
a
while.
while.
Ever.
Forever. Or perhaps we can go and we can send word to Ratley, who's now King of Undertow Isle, who's a good friend of ours, and maybe they could exchange this boat for a smaller one.
We
So-
did liberate an entire group of peoples.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd just let us keep the people who are working there as long as you make sure they're fed, taken care of, and have room and board.
That sounds like unliberating them.
Yeah, so you liberate an island and then I get a bunch of their slaves.
No,
That
no,
sounds
they're
really
doing it.
fucking
They're paid
stand up,
sailors.
guys.
They're paid
They
sailors.
work for you. You pay them now.
If they want to quit, they can.
Correct.
I can't even feed myself. Magnus pays shit.
Well, we're gonna figure all that out. I promise you, we'll figure it out.
Let's go see it.
We go down and see it.
You make your way out towards down through Amberdock and weaving through the town. The nightlife is starting to pick up now. There's some jubilation in the air, and you make your way down to the docks. The smell of fish, and then now finally whale, ambergris, and plesiosaur, and kind of giant octopus, and all of these huge creatures that have been not been hunted for so long are now being dragged up, and you're kind of that smell of blood and flesh is in the air, which you were probably been getting used to, but it's kind of this it hits your nostrils again and is a little bit of a shock when you're reintroduced to it. And as you make your way down to the ship, you see that there are a couple lanterns lit still on the ship that Ratley had sent with you, and you see in some of the portholes you can kind of see the lantern light within there, some candlelight at the very least. And Amira stops as soon as you get there, and she looks at it and says, "This is a lot more than I was expecting."
Do you not want it? You can sell it.
So you take their property too now?
No, they gave it to us.
Oh.
It's our boat.
Oh.
And we brought it back for you because we ruined your boat. We
Now,
thought it was only fair.
If you don't want it, we could keep it. Perhaps the next place we go, we may sail there. So,
I'll take it. I mean, you fucked up my boat, and I can't let you get out of that.
Just trying
so.
to do you a favor.
Yeah.
That's all.
This is honestly the least that we could do. You've done so much for us, and I know that we've been a little rocky
Especially
recently, so
considering you hate him.
it's the least we could do.
And you promise that these aren't slaves?
Yes.
Hey,
You got my word.
First
As good as I need.
shipman guy, captain of the shipman.
And I'm just like yelling at the crocodile folk on the boat.
Oh, yeah, what's up? Oh,
You guys are paid, right?
I mean, we never really worked it out before. Just Winky told us to go, and we just don't want to get our throats cut.
How much should you be paid for a month's worth of work?
Hold on a sec.
Just so you know,
Forms.
we're in direct contact with King Ratley, so make sure you don't bullshit us.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. you hear hurried discussion, and for a month, God, what the fuck would that be?
Can always revisit it if you can't come up with it now.
300 gold pieces for a month for all of us.
Lovely.
I'm going to I'm going to pull out another one of my little sacks. And I'm going to give Emiria a sack full of 400 gold.
She takes it.
So, this is for 1 month of their service. Additional 100 gold for you. Figure out what you're going to do. You can, send them back if you want after that. Sell the boat if you want to, whatever. Just, until then, you have a crew for a month. You should be able to do something with that, I hope.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Double natural 20.
Oh,
I just want to say,
shit.
it is double
What is that, 1
natural
in 400?
20.
1 in 400?
1 in 400. Yeah.
But let me figure out what it is.
And
You
we
said
had it on Monday
persuasion?
too.
Yeah.
29.
That's 2 sessions in a row. What are the fucking
Yeah,
odds
I
of
have
that?
no idea.
She takes the bag of gold and she nods and she puts it in her little satchel, and she kind of staring off into the sea and the harbor rather, and she nods. I'm gonna have to think about this, but thank you.
You're welcome. It's even got a nice bed in the captain's quarters, which is technically now yours, so you can even move in there if you wanted and have a place all to yourself.
Well, I get to name it, right?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. It's yours.
Yeah.
Short
I just-
answer 2.
There you go.
Liz.
It's beautiful.
And you can kind of see her eyes gloss over a little bit, and there's a little bit of welling of tears in her. She seems kind of lost in thought a little bit, and then she kind of comes back to the moment, and you kind of see her arm shaking a little bit, and then she turns to you and says, I don't think I'm ready to talk to Forgus yet.
Yeah, taking
That's
some
fine.
time might be for the best.
I'm gonna wave my hand and do minor illusion to create the words "Shoal Dancer 2" and like really beautiful, elaborate lettering on the side to give her an idea of what it would look like.
Just as kind of an idea of what it would look like for you.
I'm gonna use my druid craft to make like the image of like a wave crashing up against the back of the boat, like she's sailing.
It looks. You guys are trying, and it's cute. It's cute. And she nods and says, "Yeah, I'm gonna get some sleep.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yes.
we can send for you when Forrest gets out, if we want to all meet at his hideout.
And you can also reach out to us at any time. If you don't want to reach out to Avantris because you hate him, you can reach out to Sylvie. We'll be at the Wit and Whimsy. If you need anything, you can just let me know.
I'm gonna think. I have a lot to think about. But thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm gonna get some sleep.
Good night, bitch.
Good night, bitch."
See you later.
There's a little bit of smirk that comes to her face, and
Sylvie smirks too.
as she's walking, she stops, points at Avantris. You better not be fucking with me.
I promise you he's not.
She pauses and turns back and shoots out a hand. I'm going to bed. The great Vandini survives another day. Don't get cocky, Avantris. And she walks off.
Well, that went better than I thought it was going to be quite honest.
Yeah, me too. I only got one punch to the face. That's not too bad.
I'm gonna healing word him for his damages.
Okay.
Little shit.
That's my healing word.
Well, my face feels better, but my heart is hurting a little.
14 points of health.
So we're in Amberdock?
Yeah.
Well, while we're down here, I know the Kench is a wee bit away, but...
Well, I think we should wait until Seamus, until Amiria's ready, or whatever her name is.
Right.
I think that's to be something we all do together.
And it's fine.
But I'll leave that up to
busy
Vanders
right
to
now
decide.
anyway.
What's that?
He's so busy right now anyway.
It's true.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to Vanders to decide, obviously, as they're his friends, but...
What do you think, lad?
I hate to keep him in the dark, but I don't know. I don't want to tell him unless we're in person. So
Well,
we either go now and tell him, or like Sylvie said, we wait until Forgus is out and Amir is ready, and then we can have the whole story, I suppose.
or do we want to tell him first, so that way he's not the only one who isn't in the know?
I
And that
like
way we're
giving him a
not-
heads up.
We're not springing it all on him when everyone's there together. So that's why it's up to you.
And for all we know, Amiri is on her way right there right now.
What time is it right now, roughly?
It's probably approaching 8:30.
Well, we could make it into the Kench pretty safely if we wanted to go speak to him now and at least give him a heads up. It could be a couple days before Forgus is released, and I don't like him not knowing.
Okay.
So, the reason I bring it up is, and this may sound crazy,
It
but
does.
given what we know now about Hissy and what we think Forgus at least believes, is it worth checking out the house where what happened? See if we can find any evidence of anything left
I
behind.
don't know about that, Rodek. That's where you're crossing dangerous territory. I don't know, one, if I'm even comfortable going back there. Two, I don't know how Amiri and Forgus would handle it if they found out. I don't think that's a good idea now. Maybe when the rest of the gang is around. I don't know about that.
Just wanted to float it. I know Orpheus was living there for at least a month, perhaps, maybe more. So
Let's just talk to Seamus for now, and if we want to cross that bridge at another point, then fine. I suppose I'll go. But I don't like it.
all right. Well, let's just go find Seamus.
Okay. You make your way to the Kench. Are you just gonna go kind of walk in, or?
I feel like at this point, like, who's gonna mess around with the heroes that go
Exactly.
in?
We're armed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not. We're gonna waltz in like we own the joint. What are they gonna do, huh? What are they gonna do? They're not gonna do nothing.
You walk through the town, and it probably takes you an hour and a half to get there, maybe a little bit longer. And walking through, you see through the Kench, you see kind of the occasional rough-looking person giving you a look, and you kind of hear like whispers of like, oh, like don't fuck with these guys. Like this is no, don't do that. And as you walk through unassaulted, and you finally make it to Forgus's hideout, and you knock on the door. There's no answer.
Seamus, where are you?
No answer.
What the hell? We tried the door. Is it locked?
It's locked. You stand there baying for about like 10 minutes, and then finally you hear, hold on. How does this fucking go again? No, and after like about 2 minutes of undoing all the locks, the door opens. Seamus is in a little nightcap, in his pajamas. You see him wearing little slippers, and his beard is all kind of scraggly, and his hair is all off to the side. And he says, "Do you know what time it is?"
Yes, I'm sorry to wake you up. I apologize. May we come in?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Come on in. I got Orpheus in a back room in the storage with all the peppers or whatever the fuck it is for receipts.
Normally, we wouldn't disturb you, especially since you've been doing us such a favor, but I gotta catch you up on some stuff here. We just had a nice conversation with Emiria, believe it or not. That went well. And I'm just gonna cut right to the chase, because there's no easy way to say this. Forgus, you told us that Forgus was in prison. We went to go see him. He told us how he ended up in prison, and the short end of the whole story is that he believes that Hissy is still alive.
You see him blink a few times, and he shakes his head and says, "There's no way that's true. He was drunk. He was drunk in a rage. He probably had a big steak for supper or something."
Well, he said he did, but he'd been in prison
go.
for almost a month, so that can't be the case, right? And trust me, when he said it, I wanted to kill him because I didn't believe that he could possibly have seen such a thing. But I believe that he saw what he thinks he saw, and the only way that we're going to get to the bottom of this is by working together. And Emiria seems to be on board. We didn't want you in the dark, and that remains. I only have one question left then, and that is: do we have any idea where or if Taiki would even be remotely interested in any of this?
He cringes as soon as you mention that and says, "Well, I don't know. I haven't heard from her in months. I know that she ran into some trouble with Belivar. But back up. You're telling me that Forgus saw Hissy with Alphonse."
Allegedly.
Alive. Allegedly.
For what purpose? For what does that even mean? And Amiria's on board? I mean, you're a miracle worker. You stopped the chaos.
It was all the rest of the gang. I was just present. I didn't do anything. I promise.
He got punched.
That I did.
Well,
We gave her a boot.
Oh, that's...
And some money.
Well, she likes both of those things, I suppose.
And I called her a bitch.
A lot.
Yeah.
Well, she's honest with herself, I suppose. I don't know what to... it has to be Forgus having... He was probably eating whatever... Drinking whatever brew he's making and eating whatever weird fermented shit that he ferments in the back there. I think it might be having an effect on Orpheus, too. I don't go back there.
Listen, I don't want to drag any of this up. Obviously, this isn't what I want. But now that he's brought it up, we've got to see this through at the very least. I mean, we already have business with Alphonse, and if somehow he has business with Hissy, then we've all got business with Alphonse, and I'd like to get you on board.
Well, whatever it is you need, or any way you think I can help. I'm keeping that one, and he sticks a thumb back to the closed door. It seems to have like 4 different wooden beams across it, each with a different slot, and very heavily reinforced. And he says, I'm doing a pretty good job keeping that one. He just complains a lot, and I threaten to kill him, and that's it. So, any way you think I can help?
I'm glad to let you know, but for now, we just didn't want you in the dark.
Well, I appreciate you letting me know, and I can't believe that they let you in to see Forgus. I knew he was in real deep shit, but well, I guess you are the saviors of the town. You're the miracle workers. What do I know?
I do have one favor to ask.
What do you need, Rodick?
Could you, given how well connected you are, could you just get a sense of what's become of that haunted house, whatever it was? What was it called? Just down the way here.
The one where it all went down?
Right, where it all went down.
I wasn't there, praise Saluna that I wasn't.
And you're fortunate for that, but could you just kind of, do you know what's been happening since, what's going on there since we left the place?
Well, I know that there's superstitions. People whisper about what happened, but no one dare go in that house again. It's abandoned. Ghost stories at this point. A bunch of kids tell tales about it. A lot of people heard stories after it happened. A lot of people heard moaning and groaning, but ain't nothing heard more than that. I can reach out to a contact to see if there's anything else.
Just since we went in there last and, dealt with Orpheus in there, I just want to make sure that it's, a string of bad luck, or there's something special about that house. It makes me nervous.
Oh, that wasn't the same house that Orpheus was in.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
2 different houses.
No, I mean, the spooky stories, I assume, was Orpheus killing people that fucked with him, do whatever he did.
So, hold on, out of character. So there are 2 different houses, and we knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, where's the house where Hissy died?
Oh, that's deep in the Kench. That's very deep. That's why we thought that it would be an easy job in and out. And I feel horrible because I was the one that tracked him down and tracked old Jimmy down, and it was easy enough. And no one really thought why he'd go that deep in the Kench, and we thought he was on some sort of dope or something. But
it's not your fault, Seamus. It's really no one's fault. Accidents happen.
Well, I am responsible for assisting with the job regardless.
I don't think it would be any problem for us to get there. We can handle anything the Kench throws at us at this point, but I'm still hesitant to go back to, the scene, if you will. It would be tough. And I don't know if Forgus can mentally handle it or Amiria emotionally handle it without murdering me, but we may have to. I agree with you, Rhoda. We may have to.
Just, at this point, it could perhaps confirm or deny what Forgus is saying. That's just my 2 cents, that's all. We don't have to. It's up to you. I would never want to force you or anyone else through that. But if you would like to, I'd be happy to go along and support you.
Well, I'm not going.
Well, I want to go to bed.
Me too.
So, you've been told, you know what's going on. I think the plan is that Amiria is going to take some time to compose herself, and then hopefully Forgus is going to get out of jail soon, and then, the rest will meet up here once everybody is ready to go, and we'll talk about what's happening, and we'll give you more of the information that we have. And hopefully Forgus can provide us with some more information, and we can get to the bottom of whether he's absolutely off his fucking rocker.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to let me know. I'm coming all the way out here. I know it's far from Noble Garden, but I did leave the funny thing on me nightstand, so I wouldn't have heard you.
That's okay. If it's not too much trouble and it's too late out of character, we can always just stay here for the evening and head back to Noble Garden in the morning if that's what we all prefer. If not, we'll start the trek back.
That's fine with me.
You're more than welcome to crash. We got a few spots on the floor. I mean, it's not much.
Thank you.
You know how Forgus lives.
Do we want to stay here tonight? I mean,
Sure. I don't care.
I think it's fine. We're all together as long as
I sleep
we're
on
safe together.
Daniel's stomach anyway, so I've got a soft, warm bed.
all right, well, that's fine if that's what you all want to do.
Okay. He gets together a few ratty blankets and a few soft cloths and kind of makes up some beds. There is one spare bed where Forgus sleeps. So he's like, oh, I wouldn't sleep in that if I were you. I think you're better off with the rags, frankly. But your choice. And so he makes up some bedding, and you're able to settle in.
All right, well.
Well, thank you for your and Forgus's hospitality.
Of course.
I just want to check, if you don't mind. And then can I go to where Orpheus is?
Yeah.
I just want to I'll remove all the wooden planks or whatever, and open the door. Hello.
You see Orpheus in the same kind of ratty, torn up clothing that he's had, his long hair, and he groans a minute and says, "Have you come to give me a pillow?"
Are you still worthless?
What does it look like?
Can I insight it?
Yes.
Low. 8.
I'm going back to sleep. He seems genuine.
Good night. And I shut the door and I lock it back up. And I go to bed.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out my little Annual doll and snuggle up to it, and I'm gonna put, before I go to bed, how long do you, for attunement? Is that
It's an
A
hour.
long, yeah, an hour.
Short rest.
Short rest.
can I attune while I'm sleeping, or is it an active
No,
option?
you gotta actively do it. You gotta study it. Oh wow, this is how it works. I would say you would have done that probably as soon as Silly gave it to you. So.
Okay, well, I'll throw it on,
Yeah.
and
Same with the cloak protection.
Okay.
You also only sleep half as much as everyone else, so.
True.
good call.
Okay. So you all meditate, you all sleep in, rest in, and you get a full night's rest unless there's anything you want to do before you go to sleep.
Nope.
Okay.
We would just probably stay up a little bit and
Yeah.
drink and hang out with
Yeah.
Seamus.
Seamus goes straight to bed.
Oh, does he?
He's like, no, I'm done.
Just-
I'm done.
Yeah, at least Rodek would stay up a little
This
bit.
is all the hospitality I can muster. So yeah, I'm off. Okay. You wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. That wasn't the most comfortable sleep.
You say this as you realize that Sylvie is completely sprawled across you, seeing Annual and snuggling with her doll. She left her be, and she is completely across your chest, snoring.
No wonder this wasn't the most comfortable sleep.
Good morning, Rodek.
Good morning. And I gently place you down.
I feel so refreshed. What a lovely night.
As soon as you wake up, you smell, you hear the sound of scraping and the clattering of pans, and the smell of what smells like Seamus's famous seafood stew hits your nostrils in the other room.
Breakfast.
Thank you for cooking.
No, have a seat. Have a seat. I've got some everyone's favorite. I'm sure this long way from sea, you'd all be missing it. So especially you, Avantris. And so an extra scoop for you, and then 2 extra scoops for you, Rodek. And then ladies, I'm sure one's fine for you. Let me know if you need any more.
Thank you.
He sits
Good
down.
old Seamus.
Should I?
Thanks, Seamus.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Should I get Grumpy up?
Yeah, probably.
He goes over to the door and gives it 3 hard kicks. You hear right, sleep time's over. Time to get up. And he undoes the slats, opens the door, and he comes out yanking Orpheus up. He's still bound, and he drags over. There's these deep bags under his eyes. His eyes are bloodshot. I guess as far as there's bloodshot as much as a tiefling's eyes can get. And he looks incredibly tired and says, "Oh boy, seafood stew again. My favorite.
It's good.
It's fine.
He good for
You're lucky
you.
you're getting anything.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. Grandpa's cooking is amazing. I love going to Grandpa's house. Can I please have a spoon? Can I please have my hands untied?
I'm gonna use Mage Hand to pick up his spoon and play airplane with him.
Oh, this is so humiliating.
Open up for the airplane, Orpheus. Vroom. Loop-de-loop. Oh, good boy. Good boy.
I
And
think
she's
this
just
is...
gonna do that the entire time.
Can you please just kill me? I'm changing my mind. All of the begging for my life.
Are you sure?
There's a lot of platinum on that head, my friend.
Well, I guess no secret tunnel. Shame.
No, it's fine. But while you're here, while we have you, I wanted to ask, what do you know about Alphonse LeBlanc?
see a smirk creep to his lips, and make a persuasion check.
5.
No, I don't know. I mean, he's just the smirk is very subtle, and it goes away. And he says, "I don't know. He's the big cheese here. That's about all I've got. Why do you ask?"
Well, I was curious. Is he a Dracula? You know, like a suck your blood, blah.
I don't know what a Dracula
A vampire. Is he a vampire?
Why would you think I would know what a vampire? I mean, I've never met the man.
You've never met him?
No.
Oh.
Can I insight?
Yep.
5. No, 6.
Seem to be honest.
Those rolls, though.
You were in town quite a while before we even got here.
I was.
And you mean to tell me that you didn't do any kind of dealings with Alphonse LeBlanc?
Any dealings? I mean, there's those of us in the circles of stealing magical items, those of us with that hobby. I know of Alphonse. He's quite famous. He'll never let you forget it, so I hear. But I have never had the pleasure, nor did I bother. He tends to ask for quite a hefty sum for any of his services, and it wasn't worth my time, frankly.
Alright. Well, let us know if you remember anything else.
Will you untie my hands if I do?
Oh no, but I can always make you my best friend again and we can finger paint with Growl and shit.
Please don't do that, but if you untie my hands, who knows?
I turn to the gang quietly and say, if he's willing to give us information to untie his hands, what's the worst that could happen? We end up killing him?
Well, with Orpheus, there's a lot that is the worst that could happen. Like, Annulin could fall through a portal into chaos, or wall rats could
happened
not
one
anymore.
time.
Twice, actually.
Well, only 2 times. Come on. Isn't it 3 strikes and you're out? Excuse me.
Seamus, do you think you could handle him with his hands untied?
I meant only while we're here. I'm not going to leave Seamus alone with the man walking around freely. I trust Seamus, but I don't trust Orpheus.
I mean, I don't know. He seems like a little bit of a dandy to be that dangerous. I don't know why you lot are so worried.
You didn't see what we saw, good sir. Seamus, I know you trust me, and trust me on this one. It was some wild shit.
Don't underestimate him.
Well, you left a good impression. I mean, it's up to you. You're the ones that deal with him. He's your prisoner. I'm just doing you a solid.
He almost ended the world. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that. He almost ended existence as we know it.
Well, thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone ever said to me.
Now,
You stop talking.
will you talk if we untie your hands for at least a little while?
I might remember something.
Alright.
How about we untie him for now, and then we retie him up when we leave? Deal?
Right? It's fine.
Okay.
I'll take out Venom's spine and I'll sever the ropes on his hands. But the weapon is drawn and ready to be used.
This is going to turn into a musical number here, but I'm just proving to you right now. Ha! Ha! Nothing up my sleeve? I don't have any sleeves. I don't know if I'm kidding.
Now talk.
Talk about what? Alphonse.
What do you know?
Everything you know.
Well, this feels so nice. Can I just stay like this? I mean, this is, God. It hurts so much.
See, based on what you tell us.
Oh,
Right.
Okay, well, if that's the case, you have the upper hand, and I have no reason to not want to tell you. So, I came to town. I did my scoping, my casing the joint, as you do. It wasn't long until I realized that Vito Velosnik was the one that had what I wanted. But I don't know if you saw my. You did. You were in my house, my safe house. I needed reagents. I needed the bloods of genies, and I had figured that he would have quite a stock. I decided to case his store. I noticed a trend. I noticed that the strange girl that waited out, that ran the shop, was never anyone else. It was only hers, and it was opened at all hours of the night. That was weird. And I decided to case his mansion. I also noticed there were no windows, and the doors were very heavily guarded. I did a little bit of sneak. I snuck up, and I was almost vaporized by whatever alchemical shit he had. And it seemed as if I saw the markings, I saw the runes. I think I was pretty good. This is me, I'm sad.
Go on. I kick him a little bit.
That was anything. It was pretty serious. And then, of course, I noticed how the strange, horrible man with the patchy orange beard who works for the pimp uptown, how he would come with girls in the middle of the night. Usually 3 or more at a time. I would sit and I would wait, and I'd wait for an opportunity to maybe slip in. They never came out. And I'm all for murder when people need murdering, but I don't know what he was doing with the kind of precautions he had taken with his mansion. I didn't want to risk it, so I set my sights elsewhere. I also noticed that he never left the house during the day. I watched for at least a week and a half, 2 weeks. Not once. He was fine leaving at the evenings. But whatever weird alchemical shit he has going on, I don't know. But it is some mumbo jumbo. That's for sure. That's all I got.
No.
Is that satisfactory?
Let me move the mic.
Well, I'm pretty sure that this confirms my theory that he is a Dracula. So, I don't know what kind of points I get for that, or what kind of accolades I should be showered with, but I was right.
Oh, welcome, Torchbreaker.
Thank you for the
Thank
raid,
you.
Torchbreaker.
Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Welcome.
But as I was right, I believe I called he was a Dracula the very first time I saw him. I might have even called he was a Dracula before I had met him. Either way, I know 100% he is a Dracula. That proves it. Nothing you can say is going to change my mind. Now, how do we kill a Dracula?
What's a Dracula?
A vampire. But like a big one. Like the leader of the vampires. You know? Like they're Dracula. And let us suck your blood. Blood-sucking people of the...
No, I know what a vampire is.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Dracula's a big one.
Do you think he's a vampire?
I never put 2 and 2 together. I mean, I've never met a vampire.
Yeah, me either.
He's a pasty little shit. His skin is way worse than mine.
Yeah,
He thinks he dresses well too, and he doesn't.
yeah. It's
Are
true.
vampires inherently evil?
I've never heard of a good vampire, but there's... What do I know? I was an archaeologist. I mean, there weren't like vampire ruins that I studied, so I'm pitifully shallow on the subject. I apologize.
Yeah.
You're gonna tie me back up again.
All I know is Dracula fan fiction, because when I was living in the swamp, I used to write vampire fan fiction, and that's what I would read when my sisters and my brothers were picking on me.
Well, I don't think that was real.
What? No, the fan fiction was real.
I'm gonna enjoy my soup for the first time with my own hands, so...
Sure.
Enjoy it for now, because that's not gonna last.
Oh, come on, I gave you all I know.
Yeah, well, it wasn't good enough, and
I
I
mean,
don't trust you still.
He did confirm that he is a Dracula, and that's a pretty big thing.
No.
I mean, did he really tell us anything we didn't already know?
No.
Yes, actually, he did. And that was that he had those weird alchemical traps around his place. That's important to know because I don't personally want to die.
To be fair, we knew the man was heavily guarded. By what? Fine. But it didn't really give us any more information that I was hoping for, to be honest with you. I'm a little disappointed in you, Orpheus. You seem to be one step ahead of us always, yet when we need you most, you don't give us anything.
Now, to be entirely fair to Orpheus, we had suspicions. We had heard kind of hearsay that he never goes outside. We had heard that we saw that Leon, who's the scraggly little red-bearded guy,
he's nasty.
we had seen
Oh,
him
yeah.
deliver girls back there. You two had seen that.
Correct.
We didn't know if that was a regular thing. We didn't know if they ever got it out or not. He was able to confirm if he cased the place for a week or two. That's confirmation.
2 weeks. Yeah.
As long as you're telling the truth.
I wanted that genie blood. Please. I mean,
I think you're giving him too much credit here, Rodak.
I tried. I mean, I had to go. I had to spend a lot of money on the black market to get that stuff finally.
With
I
the
thought-
20 insight, how do I feel about it?
He seemed to be honest.
So, I mean, I don't want to be the one to say it, but I guess I'll be the one to say it. I fucking told you so. He's a Dracula.
You know, after months and months and months of hanging out with you, none of us have any idea what that means.
Okay. Well, I think I still have some of my fan fiction in my pack in the room. So when we go back, I'll let you read it, and then you'll know.
I would be honored. Thank you.
Okay, just skip over pages 6 and 8 because that's the erotic fan fiction, and I just don't really want you reading what I wrote there.
Fine, done. Understood.
Okay, thanks.
Now,
I would like to read this.
Yeah, maybe one of these days.
That'd be nice. Thank you.
Seamus, how secure is that room that you have him in back there?
Oh, it's secure. It's where Forgus keeps his stash. I don't think there's any risk of this one getting out of there.
Stash of what?
His banshee
It's
peppers.
peppers. He gets
Oh.
imported.
Alright, well, Orpheus, how does this sound? You can keep your hands, but you'll just be locked in that room for the information you gave. Is everyone fine with that? He's completely locked in. He can't do anything besides eat peppers, and honestly, I don't give a shit about the peppers.
There's no
Feel
chance
free.
I'm going to touch one of those things, so you don't have to worry about
That's
that.
fine by me, provided, Seamus, you call us if anything goes wrong.
No, I will. I mean, he's your prisoner, so it's you make the calls.
And if
I'm
you
comfortable,
take him out, you tie him back up.
and you know what I can do with this. I know, Grandpa. I appreciate it. Thank you for the stew. And he's just like, my own hands. It tastes even better when I can do it with my own hands.
If you think of anything else about Dracula, please let us know. And if you provide us with any more information, maybe I'll bring you my literotica for you to read. Which would be very entertaining in that room full of peppers, I would imagine.
Well, I'll see what I can do. I
Okay.
mean, there's all sorts of strange people, powerful people that meet in secret around this town, but I was never afraid of anyone like I was Alphonse, so I wish I had more for you because this feels really nice and I'd like to make sure that this continues.
Okay.
Now that we have that information, I think it's clear that Alphonse he's up to something. Do we go to the house? Could you lead us there, Avantris?
I could, but I'd prefer to wait for Miria and Forgus, honestly.
And you think they'd be fine with going?
I don't know, but
No.
I'd rather at least talk to them first.
Yeah, we can't take Forgus, because if Forgus is found anywhere near that house, he's going back into jail.
Right, and that's why...
We also can't be found anywhere near that house, because then we're going to jail.
Why?
Because we said that he hadn't done anything wrong. We lied to him and convinced him to go. He almost killed Alphonse, was put into jail. If they find us sneaking around his manor when he isn't home, they're gonna put us in jail.
No,
Not Alphonse's house.
Oh.
The
The
house
scene
where...
of the incident, I suppose.
Oh.
Where, you know...
Yeah, I don't want to go there. There might be ghosts and spookies and stuff.
I would prefer to wait for the rest of the gang, honestly.
If the leader of this town is a Dracula, then it could be like a ghost brothel in there. It could be like a Casper in there or something.
There could be, but you know.
That's fine. And we don't know when Forgus is getting out, that's fine. If you want to wait, we're already here, but that's alright.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just think that what we should do is we should just lay low, wait until Forgus gets out, talk to Forgus and Emiria, then have them do this weird town celebration they want to do for us, and then I think that we should just go find Alphonse.
There may be valuable information in that house.
I can
I
send Lumi.
agree. I agree.
I can send Lumi into the house. She can case the joint.
It might not be a bad idea, but I would just feel better if we waited and had most of the group with us.
That's fine. And you know, honestly, that's, you know, I know this is a big deal, so that's just fine.
There's a lot of trauma, and I can't promise that Forgus will mentally hold up or Emiria will emotionally hold up, but we should try nonetheless.
Alright. So do we just head back?
Yeah. I mean, what else are we going to do? We're waiting on other people's timelines.
Alright.
Agreed.
Let's just relax. Well, thank you, Seamus. We'll be back.
Oh, thank you. I'll keep an eye on this one. And he says, well, I guess this is my life now. Orpheus says that.
Yeah, at least for now.
Well, life is involved, so I'll take it. And he's eating soup.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So you make your way back to the hotel, and you find a letter from Amalia. She tells you that there's been we'll just say that for the sake of expediency that unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, Forgus is going to have to be in jail at least until after the ceremony.
Bologna! I say, objection!
Well, that sucks. But honestly, what's another couple of days really gonna hurt him? He's been in there for a month already. We know he's at least okay. Let's get through the ceremony, and then we can deal with it.
Did the letter say why?
She just said unforeseen circumstances.
Maybe we should go talk to her.
I mean, I don't want to push our luck.
I'm with Anulin on this one. This is strange.
Something's fishy.
I don't like this whole ceremony thing either. I'm getting nervous about this whole thing. Maybe it's because we've been on the road too long and too many strange things have happened to us, but quite frankly, this ceremony has me on edge.
You know, I'll follow you where you want to go. I just think that we're pushing our luck, so...
Maybe we should wait for the rational one who tells us to now hold on a minute all the time before we make any rash decisions.
I have a strange feeling he's at the stables cleaning up Ramby's shit. But that's just a guess. And that Ramby's now in the shape of a small dog.
Good old Ramby.
Good old Ramby.
I think Rodek's coming back.
Oh, listen, I hear him. He's coming back from shit duty.
I
I
never
knew there was a severe lack of now hold on in my life.
Now hold on. What were we talking about?
Well, there's a note left that said that Forgus would not be released until after the ceremony due to unforeseen circumstances.
Oh, I don't like the ceremony, Rodek. I'm getting nervous about the ceremony. I told the rest of them I'm worried that maybe we've been on the road too long and I'm just a little paranoid. But this ceremony's got me on edge.
And I was saying they want to go and question Amalia about it, but I think that we're pushing our luck by going and fighting it right now, whereas I think a couple more days of Forgus being locked up isn't the end of the world. At least there's plans to release him just after the ceremony.
I mean, I think that's fine, but I think just sitting around when we could figure out, try to get information at Bellular's place, see if we can figure out what's going on with...
What's Bellular?
Not Bellular, what's his name? Bellular.
Oh, I don't want to go there. I'm pretty sure that he's funneling women into a Dracula lair. I'm not going anywhere near that place. I'll go with you guys if you want to question Amalia, but I don't see any need to go scouting around, Belliver. We know he's a bad dude.
Or we can just leave. If we're fine with Alphonse kind of doing his thing.
No, I'm not. That's my point. I think we should go to Ogway where Alphonse is.
But if we can get tons of information here, possibly, why wouldn't we do that if we're going to go to Ogway?
Because right now we have great connections here. And the moment we start snooping around and getting noticed for all the questions we're asking, then all of a sudden those connections aren't so great anymore.
Us investigating a house, and us just hanging around the Belliver's Union, or Belliver's...
Mon Ami.
Well, Annulin and I can't really go there because we tried to impersonate hookers.
Belliver's also still looking for me, most likely, so I'd like to avoid him at all
So you're
costs.
going to have to go by yourself if you want to go there.
And that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'm just saying, I'll leave it up to you. That's fine. We have days until the celebration. I trust Amalia completely. I don't think that anything would be up with that. I really don't. I think it's we could ask Amalia what the unforeseen circumstances was. That's fine. Totally fair. But I'm not suspicious given that Alphonse isn't back yet. As far as we know.
This ceremony just has me on edge, and I have it's a feeling that I can't shake and I can't explain. So I feel like I have to be on your side here and say that I really don't have a reason why I would be worried.
Like, I just want to get it done with so we can move on. Like, to be quite honest with you, I'm sick of this town.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I'm sick of this town and their problems, and I don't want to have to deal with it anymore.
I want to be done with Orpheus. I'd like to try to save Annulin's mother.
The thing that's the most important to me right now is Annulin's mother and finding out if Vandris's friend is alive. And neither one of those things we can do here. So yeah, I could spend all of my time running around and sneaking through people's houses and trying to get additional information about it. Or I can say, I'm just going to enjoy the last couple of days I have in this town, get through this stupid ceremony we have to do, and then figure out where we're going to go from there.
I say, if we care about Alphonse and we want to at least try to save Hissy, or figure out what the hell's going on, to make sure that he doesn't destroy, he's obviously killing people, to at least stop him if we can, then I say we don't just go after him, we do what we can here first. Because I don't want to come back here, there was something we could have learned, or we have to come back. I want to make sure that we do our due diligence.
Of course we're going to have to come back.
Seamus
is here.
We let him just run amok.
My new husband is here. The doll maker person is here. Like, obviously we'll have to come back. Like, if you think we're going to leave and never come back, then that's ridiculous.
Well, we do have a way to teleport back.
I just don't think we need to be rooting through, ghost-infested mansions looking for some kind of remnants of the dead body of Vandris's ex-friend. I just think that's going to stir up more trouble than it is going to resolve anything. Because if you go in there and you find her bones, that's just going to make things a little more difficult.
Don't you think there would be a ton of key information if we find her corpse there?
Guys, can we not just, like, talk about the corpse of my buddy like that? Blase. Come on, like, just a little bit of reverence.
Am I not making any sense? Does this not make sense to anyone?
I agree with you. I just listen. This is tough for me, right? I don't know where I belong here. I agree. There's information to be found, but I don't feel right digging around without Forgus and Amiria's help. It just I've caused enough rifts in our relationships that I don't want to dig these rifts deeper.
And that's my point. If we can't get Forgus out until after the stupid celebration, then we get to the celebration, we deal with that, we get Forgus out, and then we make decisions from there.
I kind of agree.
That's fine.
You know, I don't know about you, but I'm tired. Not every single one of my day has to be going into haunted mansions. Can't I have a day where literally all I do is use the bathroom and write fan fiction? Like, come on, guys.
No,
Cut me
fine.
some slack.
That's fine. I'm trying to get out of here. That's all.
But we can't leave until afterwards. So, let's get
I
to
was
that
hoping
day.
to leave right afterwards, but that's fine. Let us, if everyone wants to press fast forward, that's fine. It's totally fine.
Well, you can't really press fast forward. We have to live through every moment until then anyway.
Right.
Okay. So, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to just kind of hang out in the town? So you'll have probably 5 days of downtime?
Well, it depends on if they want to ask.
Unless there's something that Rodek wants to do on his own as well. I mean, we don't all have to do the same thing. If we all agree on something, Rodek says, fuck it, I'm off to do my own thing. You can totally do that.
Yeah, and if you guys want to go question what the unforeseen circumstances are, you can do that too.
I mean, I'm concerned, but I don't think we're going to get anywhere. I think that Amalia is just going to tell us that that's the way that it is, and that's that.
Yeah,
I'll do all those things.
Okay. So what do we do first?
So I will go see Amalia and ask what the issue is.
I'm gonna join you.
And then just in the downtime, I want to maybe, if I find some spare hours, try to find time to just maybe, since I can go to Belliver's or to the Mon Ami, I would just stop by and just hang out, see if I kind of notice Leon around. Maybe if I leave 4 nights, I might spend an hour or two a night.
Okay.
And just drink.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys? What do you want to do?
Just chill.
Okay.
Just take some nights to just decompress and just relax.
Yeah, I think that's,
Drink at the
I agree.
inn.
And then I'm just going to be available if Seamus needs me.
I think I'll spend one night going over and visiting Reeve and having dinner with Reeve and just kind of shooting the shit with him.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, just chilling, drinking.
You have a nice meal with Reeve. He's very awkward, but he's cut his nails.
You look so good, Reeve. I'm so proud of you.
I would have said you would have gotten a little bag of his nail clippings, I guess, the next day. It would have been waiting for you, so I forgot about that, so you can enjoy that. Annulin and Rodek, you go to Blood Anchor, and you flash your medallions. And just for the sake of expediency, Amalia does see you. And she apologizes profusely for having to keep Forgus. But she had spoke to some of the guards, and she had and they had been there at that night when Forgus attacked, and that they had been very, very explicitly, that Alphonse had been explicitly clear to keep him locked up until he got back. And so she was trying to sort that out.
But with no
Has
sense.
anyone else come to visit him since we've been here?
No.
And did she have any sense of when he'll be back?
So basically, she sent a letter immediately, and basically through fast means of travel, and she's hoping to hear back by the time the parade is going to be.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
But she assures you that she's let you know that you guys are the saviors of the town, that he's with you, that it's all been a big misunderstanding. But basically, with the severity of what she had questioned the guards and with how serious he was, she says that she hadn't really realized how serious he was about that. So, okay. And then you're going to Belliver's.
I am not doing Belliver's.
Okay, so Rhoda's going alone to Belliver's. And so you make your way. What are you trying to do at Belliver's at the moment, mate?
I just want to kind of just hang out, drink, see if I can get a sense of like when Leon, like if I see Leon walk out with girls or whatever.
Yeah. So make a perception check and make a deception check. Just
perception is 21.
Okay.
Deception is an 11.
An 11. Okay, so you manage to kind of case the joint, and you manage to see Leon. He seems to be grumbling, and he seems to be pretty upset. And you manage to strike up a conversation with him. And you get, I would say what you learn is that ever since Alphonse left, he's been basically just running the chip counter and just doing like lame stuff, and Alphonse used to tip him very well for bringing people, and now he's not getting any of those tips. And so he was just bemoaning that when he was particularly doped up.
Okay.
And he's not been running the same kind of deals. So, anything else?
So he's basically not running anything because he's...
And I would say he lets on that Belliver is upset with the fact that they got attacked by the Lockjaw still, and that that it basically blew their whole gig. I'll say. Okay. So, anyone else want to do anything in the downtime?
So when I split off from Rodak, I would go to like a mail courier and drop something off with some coin.
Okay.
Oh, and I would have ordered a wagon.
Okay. I'll say that you can get a wagon and it'll be ready by the time the parade. Custom, you give the measurements for Randy and all of that. You get that done. That'll run you about. I believe I have something here.
It's in there.
It's in there. Should be in here. Cart is C. Or is it? Is there
a possibility for like a caravan? Like where it's pulled by horses or a giant ram, but there's room for us to sleep inside, and that way we don't have to sleep on the ground. Like you think about like a gypsy caravan, how it's like the little cart.
Well, a caravan is just multiple.
Yeah, so a covered wagon.
Okay,
Covered wagon.
Covered
That's
wagon.
what I was thinking of.
I would say for a custom covered wagon like that, it would cost about 100 gold pieces.
Heck yes.
Perfect.
100 gold pieces. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Oh yeah, I would say 100 if it's just like a wagon. Yeah, 100 gold pieces.
What are the options? I guess I would have checked the options.
So there's a carriage, just basic is 100, probably be 200 to modify it to Ramby. Cart is 15. A wagon is that's just basic. Wagon's 35.
It wouldn't be like a full blown.
Yeah.
Carriage.
Yeah, probably not. So like for an actual wagon, we'll say 100 gold pieces. Okay. So, anyone else want to do anything during the downtime? So you're gonna just kind of wait.
Yep.
So you enjoy the rest of your time in Gullhaven waiting for the parade. As the days get closer, you can start to see that there's a stage being erected. There's a stage being erected in in the main square within Noble Garden. You You see that there's all sorts of like decorations, a lot of gold and beautiful colors that are all being kind of put in all the windows, lanterns being hung from all the lampposts, and there's a lot of great decoration that's going on. There's an excitement that's in the air. You kind of hear some whispers or some discussion from nobles that basically ever since Alphonse left, there haven't been any great parties. So at the very least, this will be one. And so the day before the parade, it's going to be in the morning. You get a summons that it's going to begin at the Egg of Eternity, and so basically to arrive at about 7 in the morning at the Egg of Eternity to kind of get ready and just get ready in the procession and get ready to go. And I would say that you basically spend time enjoying each other's company. You check on Seamus. Orpheus is Orpheus, but Seamus is handling him fine. He actually mentions a few times that it's kind of like it keeps him busy and keeps him interesting, and he's it keeps him busy when he's not helping to build or he's going to rebuild the perch, and so he's basically working on that, and he's occasionally he's starting to feel comfortable enough to basically put Orpheus to work and like help him at least carry shit like with the hood on out by the perch, and so that's been helpful. And so you're actually just finally able to enjoy yourselves and really just kick back. And there's obviously some things brewing and you want to find answers, but you've decided to wait until after this thing and Forgus can get out of jail. And so I will say that unless there's anything else you guys want to do in the general downtime, it's the morning of the parade. So you arrive at the scene of the parade, and rather at the Egg of Eternity, and there are all sorts of nobles, and you kind of see some musicians. They have like brass instruments, some stringed instruments, like you see some percussion, and you see that Reeve, Amalia, and Vito are there, and they greet you. They're really excited, and you see that up ahead, kind of once you get back, you get in place. You're kind of all arranged into a line of 4 of you, as all of these marchers and seagulls are basically flanking you as you're forming a progression. And as soon as you are getting ready to go, Vito is looking at all of you and saying, "Isn't this so exciting?"
I am just overjoyed.
This is more than I ever could have hoped for.
This is all for you. We've all gone in on this. We've all gone heads.
Thank you so much, Vito. I could not be happier.
Great. And so you see up ahead. You see up ahead that there is. Hold on, real quick. Okay. You see up ahead that there's that all of the Silver Serpents have arrived. Amalia, Reeve, and Vito are the closest to you because they know you very well. But you see a very large woman who's very short but very wide. This thick, curly black hair, an incredibly extravagant dress, and which speaks in this thick accent. You say, "Oh, please get out of my way! No, this looks horrible!" And you can kind of hear her listening to all of these performers, these musicians that are practicing. He says, "No, they will not do that. Not do. Oh, thank you so much for saving the town. I am Campana Prestissimo."
Oh, we've heard so much about you. It's a pleasure.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So are you.
Thank you
very much. And then you met Bartholomew Darjeeling. He walks up to you and says, "Oh, good show. Welcome. Well done. Well done. I mean, I've heard so much about you, but I've been so busy with my business that I just had no chance. So I just want to thank you, and you'll be thanked at the ceremony. But I appreciate everything that you've done. It's unbelievable."
Thank you very much. It's great to meet you.
And so you're able to kind of get a sense of the other two servants that you haven't really had a chance to talk to, and they kind of go off very quickly. There hasn't been that connection. And so you hear the blasts of trumpets as the procession begins, and it seems as if the entire city is cheering you on. A beautiful stream of flower petals stream down from the various windows of Noble Garden as you're led through the streets, waving to thousands of people, noble and commoner alike, all who have come to see you, the heroes that delivered Gullhaven from ruin. 5 of the Silver Serpents walk alongside you, every one of them beaming, even Amalia, as they join with their city in celebration. The music follows you, but you can even hear what sounds like the jubilant cries from the gulls that hover on the winds above you. You walk along the parade, through the long promenades, and you spot your destination, the district center. There's been a large stage erected with colorful streamers and congratulatory banners flapping in the breeze. You're guided up onto the stage with assistance from the sea eagles that are flanking you. You see 9 elaborately crafted chairs in a row. And as you sit down, the plush velvet upholstery is incredibly comfortable, and all of the Silver Serpents, besides Amalia, take their seat. She steps over to Vito, who hands her a strange cylindrical contraption with embossed crystals on it. And she kind of taps it once, twice, and you hear a kind of get magically emanated out. And she looks at it and kind of gives Vito you can't really hear it over the cheering and the music. And she steps out to center stage, and the voices quiet immediately as she stands in her full military regalia. Once again, the admiral's jacket on the one sleeve, I believe on the right. Her sword arm completely empty and just flapping in the wind along with her coat. Welcome, Gullhaven! Her magically amplified voice booms out over the city. The crowd, having completely flooded the circle and overflowing into the various offshooting streets, once again erupts into cheers. We are here today to honor the heroes that have saved our city. After the vicious attack that crippled our way of life and left an unfathomably terrible beast lurking beyond our shores that acted as our jailer, I thought that doom had surely come to Gullhaven. And I would only discover later that the assault was merely a prelude to a far darker and more deadly threat that would have meant doom for all of Avantris. However, through the might and resolve of individuals sitting here today, the forces of chaos were sent back to the nightmare from whence they came, and our city was once again delivered from the jaws of destruction. And as you all know, Gullhaven was founded centuries ago after the defeat of the Storm Hydra, the silver-scaled, 7-headed beast that ravaged the coasts of Karkinos. It was a group of heroes, not unlike those that sit before you, forged from the storm that threatened civilization itself. They emerged victorious, and where they stood became a haven for all those that simply wanted to live a fulfilling life. These paragons here, the modern-day Stormforged, have preserved our haven and our home. Please join me in thanking, not this, she doesn't have an arm. Please join me in thanking the saviors that will be etched into the annals of our city's great history. The crowd erupts. Rodex Stonehearth, and she points to you. Ah! The crowd erupts into cheers.
Golf claps.
Sylvie Flickerwicket. Uproarious cheers.
I'm wearing my Lou outfit. I didn't say that.
Okay. You're wearing your Lou outfit. Fine. You're all in your fineries. You were given clothes for this. Annulin Mossgrove. Uproarious cheers. And Vandrous True Strike. She gives you a smile, finally knowing and remembering your name. She's finally heard of you. Let their victory be an anthem of the heart, mind, and soul of the hero. An anthem for the spark of life that even against overwhelming odds can ignite the fire that purges death and darkness. An anthem for every individual across the entirety of the world that will not let that fire in their soul go out, because they know that the life that they desire can be achieved and the world that they desire can be won. These four here are living proof. She turns to you. All of you, with a slight hint of the welling of tears in her eyes. All of you, while we can never fully repay you for your service to Gullhaven and Avantris as a whole, we can certainly try. That's why all of the Silver Serpents have joined together to provide you some tokens of our thanks. Reeve, you notice him shuffle standing up. He kind of trips on himself, and his hands are shaking with nerves.
Mage hand casually to try and help steady himself.
It worked in the studies, and he hands each of you a silver key. Large, polished silver key. You are now the owners of the Dreamline Estate of Noblegarden, one of the finest homes in the district with the best view of the sunset, if I do say so myself. Service, staff, and upkeep are taken care of. No matter where you choose to travel, you will always have a home in Gullhaven. But if you do decide to venture forth from Gullhaven, to ensure that you get there and back again, safe and sound, you are also now the owners of the Knight's Patience, one of my fastest galleons, with a full crew whenever you should decide to see the world. She raises her one good hand holding the mic, the magical thing that amplifies the voice, out toward the harbor. And you see a relatively small but beautiful galleon. And the colors of the sea eagles are flying from it. And it's anchored out in the harbor away from everything else, and you get the sense that is the Knight's Patience. And finally, I'll stop boring you, and the tears are kind of welling up a bit more, and pass this thing over to Vito. Thank you all. The crowd cheers
I
wildly.
run up and just give her a hug around the waist.
I love you.
You hear a as she can only tap you with her.
And you hear my voice
her
amplified.
mic.
I love you.
I love you. And you sit back down, and the crowd is cheering wildly
Sylvia
as
said
she
that.
hands it over to Vito.
Yeah, I'm just like totally like overwhelmed.
He waddles up to center stage, a large strange satchel with a bunch of pockets on his side. He taps at it. Pretty cool, right? I knew they would like it. Oh my, all of the staff deserve a promotion. But before that, although the Dreamline Estate and the Knight's Patience are pretty fabulous, I've got something even more fabulous to show my thanks for saving my life. Items from my own collection. He immediately turns and waddles up to you, Rodek. He rustles around in his bag and pulls out what seems to be this red metal circular object. As you get a better look at it, it seems to almost be a crown. And there's a strange glow to it as he pulls it out that it almost like looks molten. And he hands it to you. Rhoda, for you, the crown of the Molten King. It once sat above the head of a mighty dwarven king from the volcanic ranges of Drakkar. So powerful, he turned his captor's own guard against them. May its might serve you well.
Thank you. This is too much.
I can't wait till you put it on. He waddles over to Sylvie. Sylvie.
Hi, Vito.
He reaches in and pulls out what looks like an ivory flute, and it's glowing with this silver light, and almost kind of looks like moonlight gleaming off of the sea. He hands it to you.
Ooh.
It's a little large for you, but you could probably like a clarinet kind of size for Sylvie. Sylvie, for you, Silver Moon Sonata.
Oh, wow.
As ancient as it is beautiful, my research has led me to deduce that it belonged to one of the very first priestesses of Soluna, the Moon Maiden, who spread her word and love for music across Avantris from the islands of Campos. May it keep you spirited and healthy in all of your travels.
Thank you so much, Vito. I'm gonna learn Silent Night right now.
A great choice. He walks up to you, Annulin. Annulin, for you. He reaches in, and you can kind of see he reaches in a little bit deeper, and he pulls out a huge longbow that is a thick, sturdy wood, elegantly carved, spiraling and circling, and it almost kind of it shines itself, but with these strange kind of pink glittery like sparkles, and it almost seems like being perfectly polished. He hands it to you. Annulin, for you, the strong bow, the family heirloom of the strong arm family of Striga, the renowned hunters who used their power to strike fear into the hearts of giant, troll, and ogre alike until the line tragically ended. May it cut your enemies down effortlessly.
This is incredible. I don't know what to say.
Thank you. Annulin, say thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
He gives you a grin and a nod. He walks over to Vandris. Vandris, for you, he reaches into his pocket and easily finds a small medallion, silver, perfectly polished, gleaming with this white hue, and it almost seems to kind of shake, but you can get the sense that they're illusions that are being projected, and it seems to be in the shape of a seabird, almost looks like an albatross, and is connected to a long chain as if to be worn around your neck. He hands it to you. Vandris, for you, the Windward Albatross. It is believed to be the crest of one of the Storm Forge that founded Gullhaven, who used its power to emerge from the battle unscathed. May it keep you one step ahead of your enemies and all that would do you harm. He steps back and looks at all of you. I gladly part with all of these prized possessions of mine in the hopes that they will serve you far better than sitting in my dusty museum. He turns his back to the crowd, or he turns back to the crowd rather, and gives them a wave, and the crowd erupts once again. Show them one more sign of thanks, and just everyone is cheering. You see, like, the crowd is crying.
Sylvie's like bawling her eyes out.
And
kind of like nod my head.
And thank you all, you incredible heroes. And he puts the device back in his satchel, and he sits down as the crowd continues to cheer for 10, 15 more minutes. And the ceremony is over. You are guided back, flanked by sea eagles holding your new items. And that's where we'll end the session.
Woo!
Thank you, Mikey.
Holy
We did it, guys.
We have a house and a boat.
And a boat.
And I'll say that you'll tune to your items, and we'll just talk about this off stream. Just,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what they are.
That's amazing. Great job, Mikey.
Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant job.
Thanks everybody for
Yeah.
stopping by.
Yeah. Do you want to read the items
Oh,
real
yeah.
quick?
Yeah, yeah. Do you want me to do it?
So the crown of the I edited it.
Oh,
It looks
okay.
sloppy, so I'm going to send it to you guys. So the crown of the Molten King A wondrous item, crown rare, requires attunement. As you place it on your head, it kind of ignites with this molten energy and kind of floats slightly above your head with this molten energy and follows you around on your head. This crown has 3 charges. It regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. While wearing this crown, you can use an action to expend 1 to 3 of its charges to attack one creature that you can see within 60 feet of you. The ring produces a spectral, molten woolly rhino head that makes its attack roll with a +7 bonus. On a hit, for each charge you spend, the target takes 2d10 force damage and is pushed 5 feet away from you. Alternatively, you can expend 1 to 3 of the crown's charges as an action to try to break an object you can see within 60 feet that isn't being worn or carried. The crown makes a strength check with a +5 bonus for each charge that you spend.
Wow, that's awesome.
The Windward Albatross, wondrous item, medallion, rare, requires attunement. While you wear this medallion, you may project an illusion that makes you appear to be standing in a place near your actual location, causing any creature to have disadvantage on attack rolls against you.
Andy's face.
If you take damage, the property ceases to function until the start of your next turn. The property is suppressed while you're incapacitated, restrained, or otherwise unable to move.
Wow. That's
Holy
amazing.
Shit.
Andy.
Silver Moon Sonata, wondrous item, flute, rare, requires attunement by a bard, cleric, or druid. This flute has 10 charges. When you play it, you use an action to expend 1 or more of its charges to cast one of the following spells from it, using your spell save DC and the spellcasting ability modifier. Cure Wounds for 1 charge per spell level, up to 4th. Lesser Restoration, 2 charges, or Mass Cure Wounds for 5 charges. The flute regains 1d6 plus 4 expended charges daily at dawn. If you expend the last charge, roll a d20. On a 1, the flute vanishes in a flash of moonlight, lost forever.
That is amazing.
Shit.
Annulin, the strong bow. Weapon, longbow, rare. You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. When you hit a giant with it, the giant takes an extra 2d6 damage of the weapon's type, piercing, and must succeed a DC 15 strength saving throw or get knocked prone.
Shit.
For this purpose, for the purpose of this weapon, giant refers to any creature with a giant type, including ettins, trolls, ogres, and the like. And those are your items.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So,
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
That's
you-
awesome.
okay. Well, thank you so much,
That's
guys.
fine, rad.
And we'll find out what happened to Forgus next week.
Yeah. Shit.
I guess
Monday.
Monday. Oh yes. Do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, so next weekend we are going to be at Otakon. So if anyone's going to be at Otakon, track us down. That would be fun. We could maybe see you. That would be great. But so for next week, because of travel stuff, we are switching our campaigns. So Prime is going to be on Monday, and Feywild is going to be on Wednesday. So we're just flipping those 2 campaigns. We're still playing as usual. It's just a flip. So if you want to find out what the continuation of this story, which you probably do and you should want to, and you definitely should be there, come join us on Monday.
And if you missed Beneath Dark Wings Session 1, it's 8.5 hours I think we played,
Yeah.
but it is outstanding. I'm gonna toot my player's horn. I didn't really do anything. They did all the heavy lifting. The characters are absolutely outstanding. It's a delight. So I kind of struggle to watch myself, and so I'm actually watching it because of how good they are. So.
Aw, Mike, you're too nice to us.
So anyway,
It was a lot of fun.
It was
It's
a
one
lot
of
of
my
fun.
favorite sessions of any D&D I've ever played, so check it out. Join us in Discord, as always.
Yes,
We
Discord.
hang out, play games and stuff, so... yeah, anyway, good night.
Other than that, we
and
love all
good
of
night.
you. Thank
Love
you
you
for hanging
guys.
out with
Thank
us.
you so much.
And we will see you later.
Bye bye.